Good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone out there. Let me lock my chair in here really quick so that makes it nice and easy for me. Is there enough light on my face? Yeah, nobody needs to see too much of my ugly face. How are you all doing? Happy birthday to me. Thank you for all the well wishes on this platform here. I know there's not going to be many people here today, but I thought this would be something fun for anybody that tunes in or the live stream or the VOD just to say, happy birthday, which you can leave me down in the comments down below if you're watching this at a later time. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate everyone that did get here this morning. I thought it'd just be kind of fun, do a little chit-chatting, talk about some art, show you some of the pictures that I have from when I did the art gallery convention. And, if somebody out there wants me to review any of their art, I'll be more than happy. But I thought this would be a fun little morning, motivate me to get up. You can see I'd even do my hair, but I was like, screw it, let's do it. And, we'll just, excuse me, see where we go from there. I got my cup of hot coffee, Need for Speed, got my Top Gun going for me. So cheers to all out there. First of all, let me just say thank you to the people that did show up. Kenneth Dunn, thank you for the happy birthday wishes over in the chat. And also J167, happiest of birthdays to you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And Ace as well. Thank you for the happy birthday. Yeah, I'm getting older, a little slower, but still sharp in the mind as ever for giving you guys painting tips. Cindy, thank you for the happy birthday, love. I truly appreciate it. You are awesome. Birthday was pretty decent. I actually just kind of kept it low key. I had some fun things that I did on the week prior with my buddy that came up. We played a lot of pickleball. If you're not sure what pickleball is, think smaller tennis, larger ping pong, played outdoors. Really fun game. We played some video games, just chill and relax, and then I watched football on the weekend. Then yesterday I went out with my mama and my dad. They took me for a nice dinner, and then I just relaxed playing video games here. And this weekend, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. We'll see what kind of fun things I can muster up and get around for. I really want to go snowboarding, but I can't seem to find anybody to go with me, and I'm decent at snowboarding. However, I do get a little liquid courage in me, and then Ryan goes, hey, that jump looks kind of cool. Let's just say I never land them. So if I ever fall down hard, I'd like somebody there to be there with me so that way I could take care of myself or get some assistance off. Ben, thank you so much for the happy birthday, love. And one of the loves of my life, Meadow Fox, happy birthday, Boomer. Meadow, I'm glad you're here, and hopefully you're here. You just didn't pop out real quick. One, I know we talked a little bit, and two, I didn't get a chance to see your stream yesterday because I went out to dinner with my family, and I was really excited to watch your harp stream because it was on my birthday. Hopefully you're doing well. If you guys don't know Meadow Fox, she's a fantastic harpist that she's doing here on YouTube, but also a fantastic artist as well. So you might want to give her a little click on the subscribe button. But the question I had for you, Meadow, is I have no way of contacting you. I don't use Discord really anymore. And I took 2 pictures that made me think vividly of you, that it's been killing me that I can't send them to you. Both are pictures of Fox memorabilia. And I'll have to go back, but one, no joke, reminds me of something that's in your life. It was like some kind of planter or vase or vase that was made out of this like Fox contraption that looks so cool. I was like, oh, Meadow would love this. And then I can't remember the other one is. I'll have to go back on my phone. Just hit my microphone. Is there a way to contact you and send a picture? Because I thought it'd be so cute. I think the other thing was like something inspirational that I think would be cool for you. But I'll have to go back and look at my phone. But I saved them. But then I know you got rid of Twitter and I think Instagram. And now I don't know what you got. Aces Wild happened to be down with a COVID today. So glad to catch the live stream. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry that you're feeling under the weather. Hopefully it passes soon. For me, when I got COVID, luckily I'm vaccinated. I was kind of down for one day. And luckily it wasn't bad. For some reason, I felt tired, and then I felt like I had muscle soreness in my back, which I've gotten before when I've had the flu. So I assumed I was like, it's probably the flu or COVID. But I got tested, and it was positive. And then I was good for the rest of the time. In fact, I was jogging the next few days or next few weeks. I quarantined myself, don't worry, but I just jog around my neighborhood by myself. Email? Yeah, send me your email. Unless there's some kind like I can't send a picture on YouTube, the community. I wish they would really fix that, but then I'm sure people would get flooded with stuff, obviously. If you want to send me an email, Meadow, if you go to my channel on this YouTube channel, go to the About Me section, click on the email, it'll reveal it to you. Send it to me, and then I'll put it down. And like toss me your phone number or something like that, something where I can just DM it to you, because we're good enough friends. We can get past that now. But I love taking pictures of things that I think would be inspirational for other artists and send it to them, so that way they have something. I don't know. I think of others when I'm out there doing art stuff. Also got my banana, so that's a good update on the banana front. We are old. Hey, what's up, Eric? How you doing there today? How's it going on with you? You know, I'm going to increase the size of my chat so that way I can read it easier. There we go. I'm glad I can be extremely helpful. How are you doing today? Happy birthday from the North Pole, Colorado. It must be cold. It's been cold here in California, but me saying it's cold here in California is like nothing. Like, I woke up and it says it was about 56 degrees this morning, and now it says it's 64. And that's nothing. You guys wake up in like really small double digits or like negative numbers, which blows my mind. There's things that make me think of your channel from Twitch, Meadow, that I see in the world. Like when I go to, I don't know if you guys have these stores where you're at, but like Home Goods or World Market, or we have what's popular out here is Armstrong Nursery, which is like a plant depot. And I like to go to that stuff, or even like Home Depot, and I'll just see things that remind me of people that I love to watch art from. And I'm like, ooh, they could use this for inspiration. Let me take a picture of it, click. Or I'll see something when I go out, it's like a knick-knack Chotsky thing. I'm like, ooh, this would look cool for Meadow, click. It's like, I don't know why I do that stuff all the time, because I think it's funny. And it was actually really funny because like the picture I took for you, Meadow, was a long time ago, like months and months and months ago. And it was with my girlfriend that I had at that time. And I took a picture, and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm going to take this picture for my friend Meadow. I think she'll really like this. Oh, you've never told me about this person named Meadow. Is it a girl? And I'm like, yeah, it's my friend. Oh, is it now? And it just it became an argument that didn't have to be an argument. And I was like, I'm taking a picture because I thought she'd enjoy it. Oh, I'm sure she'll enjoy it because she's your friend. Like, good God. I can't even take a picture of something inspirational for my friend without being criticized or judged. It was a good time. Good time. So that goes my life. Eric, you're doing good. I wish I could send you some of my last oil paintings on this chat. It's getting good. So we're going to do like 1 or 2 oil reviews. I just want to do something fun for my birthday. I was going to show you some pictures of my TwitchCon. Meadow, you might enjoy that. We'll do that here in just a second. If you want me to take a look at your art, Eric, I'll be more than happy to. I review members first, which I'm still building my base there, so they get first priority if anybody comes in. You're more than welcome to join in the YouTube member community, which I believe you do down below your chat. Should be something that looks like a $sign or some kind of interesting thing. All proceeds go to me. Thank you very much. I'm a selfish person, but then those proceeds go to me buying more art so I can make more videos to help you out. So it's kind of like a tit for tat. However, if you want to send me one of your art pieces, Twitter or Instagram works extremely well. I think my socials are down below in the video description. Feel free to click on that. Just let me know when you send it. I have noticed that for some reason when you send me pictures via Facebook Messenger, which is via the Instagram Messenger, photos won't go through for some particular reason on the desktop platform. So I have to grab it off my phone and then send it back to myself. So just let me know that. Those are the 2 easiest ways. Plus that way I get a little follow out of you, which is Wild the number 4 games, which is easy to remember. And if that doesn't work, you can always email it to me, which is also in the About section of YouTube. You've been fully vaxxed for a while. I feel like I've been fully vaxxed, which when I was allowed to get it, because if you guys don't remember, they did like the age working down thing. So when it came to my time, I was like, okay, I'll get it. So I got the vax, and then I got the ultimate booster. I got COVID, so now I'm unstoppable, because I think that's how it works, right? Ace is Wild, you sent me a follow-up painting on your Insta since the previous one you reviewed for me. Did you send it right now? Because I haven't checked my Instagram at all. In fact, I'll just pull it up on my... Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up here. I probably should have gotten this prepped for y'all. I was just so eager to chit chat with you. I do have a lot of messages. A lot of the messages might get lost because I got a lot of birthday wishes, which was nice. Thank you for everyone that sent me a birthday wish on Instagram, Twitter, and in this community of the community chat channel. Oh, is it the winter scene? Oh, yeah, because there's one that says 9. Is it from Denny? I always forget everybody's name, so forgiveth me. I suppose you never mentioned that we also have each other's art in our homes. You know, Meadow, no joke, I have yours in my guest bedroom. I am considering repainting my bathroom, my guest bathroom, and I want to put your piece. And I don't know if you remember the piece that you sent me, but I remember it vividly because I see it almost every other day. It is a dark turquoise and light turquoise with like some dark blue, a little bit of like, let's just say foresty green, with the copper accents on top of the crackle paste. I had bought a piece from another Twitch streamer years ago and hung it in one of my rooms where moisture would hit it like a bathroom, and it started like warping. So my question for you is, do you remember, or do you varnish or coat your pieces to protect in any way? Because if you don't, it's fine, I can do it. Or I just won't put that piece in the bathroom because I'm worried it will happen again. But I can't tell from your piece because of the crackleness on it. Yep, Wild for Games, you got it, Eric. Thank you so much. You sent me one on the Twitter. Well, thank you, Cindy. I appreciate it. And Jacqueline, how you doing there this morning? Good to see you. You DM'd it to me in the IGs. All right. I think that stands for Instabam. Let me open up my folder here so that way I can grab a couple of these. And then we'll get rolling. So let me pull up my review folder. Wild Creates. YouTube reviews. Where did I put those? There we go. We can delete these. Don't need those anymore. Let me pull this over. Denny, this new one looks really amazing. I love seeing the progress you guys make. It's actually really, really mind-blowing, believe it or not. And then I get sad at myself. I'm like, I wish I painted this well at this age. Or that age. Your piece is in the reading nook, surrounded by other art from many other artists with LED lights. Very cozy. Well, thank you. I'm glad I can make your wall. I love putting people or color on people's walls, you know? Let's see here. I think the one you might have sent through the Facebook, so let me grab it. You varnish them now, but back then you didn't. Okay. For your varnish, because I've never varnished a crackled piece, or whichever molding paste you use that did the crackle. I think it was that golden one. I think we talked about it a while ago. Just let me know if there's anything special or unique I have to do, because I can just varnish it. Excuse me. Trying to find this message here. Let's see, I got a request from Eric. Okay. Let me accept that. Oh, those are beautiful, Eric. All right. I'm hoping now. See, I don't know why desktop is so different than the mobile version, and it's so annoying. All right, let me grab these. Eric, if you had it, or let me pick one. Let's pick this mountain one, because everybody struggles with mountains, and I give literally the best tips on mountains, which I know you'll love. So I'm actually just going to Dropbox this to myself really quick, since we're going to look at my Dropbox here in a second. And then I'll make it nice and easy. And boom. Okay, cool. Thank you for sending me that. And then this one was from Denny, which is Ace is Wild. So let me do that really quick. Put Ace on that. And then let's grab... Hold on, where'd my Dropbox go? Guess I'll put that right there. And let's download this really quick. I'm so good at streaming, being so prepared. You guys have never seen this type of high quality streaming. It is like uncanny. Uncanny. All right, and this one was from... Move this back here. This one was from Eric. There we go. Okay. Q. Hey, we're doing good now. And now I can pull back up my chat, and now I can read things. Jacqueline, oh no, your baby barely slept last night, up at 5:30 this morning, cried most of the morning, but he's asleep now at least. Well, I'm glad that you got the little tyke down. Gotta be nerve-wracking having your baby always wake you up when you're trying to rest, because then you must be feel like you're running on fumes. But as they always say, the joy of motherhood. You still have trouble with horizon lines, even with tape. So Cindy, here's a little trick that I use. If you can find yourself, it's probably the cheapest on Amazon, to be 100% completely honest. However, I could see it very easily breaking. If you're going to work on smaller pieces, buy yourself a metal ruler. Okay, a metal ruler. And what that does is it allows you to put up a line that you can easily visualize on there. All right. And then you can just take a pencil and mark on each end of the corner of your canvas, so that way you know what those are the even points, or at least within a degree or so. And then when you take your tape and you put it up, you'll have these two visual points that you can put your thumbs on, and then rub the tape across, and you're good to go. Okay, now if you still have hard times from that, what you can also do is very, very, very cheaply buy a metallic, or not metallic, magnet, a magnet bubbler. And you can put that on the metal ruler, so that way you actually have something that will let you know if it's off by not. But usually, from your perspective, you'll be easier to tell from at a distance when you put the ruler up. When you hold here, it can get weird because your eye can't really check out the peripheral as much. So when you hold it this way and stand back, you'll notice the differentiations. That's right, I'm good with my words in the morning. And then just mark off and then do it. That's how I do it. Now, if you have a bigger canvas, what I find to be easiest, buy a yardstick. Go to Big Lots or any discount box store that may have one, if you can find one. Usually like under $3. I use a yardstick for so many things. That's usually the easiest way, because you can mark it up and then do the same thing, mark it off on the sides. Or if you want kind of a multitasker, you can use a mahl stick, which is an MAHL, I believe, which is that stick that you put on your painting, you rest your forearm, wrist, or hand on for when you're doing detail work. So that way, if you don't want to have two tools, you can just use the mahl stick, throw it up on the side, and still use it as a leveler if you want. It just won't have marks on it for measuring if you ever need to measure anything. But that's kind of like the easy cheat way that I do it. You never tried varnishing one of the crackled pieces. Matte spray varnish might work. That's generally what I do, because it'll get into the gaps for when I use molding paste. I haven't had any issues with it, so I think I'll do that. And then we can chat via email. We'll have that really hot, sexy varnish talk. Ooh, can't wait to tell my mother. Titillating. On fumes for the last 10 months. He won't fall asleep for my husband, so it's all on me. I think he's teething again. I've never been in your situation, Jacqueline, so I can't tell you what to do. I feel like in my generation of growing up, my mom would have given me like a little fingerful of whiskey and then like put you down to sleep. And you're like, oh, I'm feeling good now, but I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. Yeah, T-square is really good too, because a T-square allows you to have the actual edge. So you can put it, snap onto the canvas, and then you actually have the line that comes down across parallel to the canvas or perpendicular from the T. And that allows you to get a nice measurement. Most people won't have a T-square or think to buy one. And it's very unitasker unless you're doing a lot of straight line art projects or you're an architect or anything along those lines. Yardstick I use for legit so much stuff in my house. It's weird. I actually used my yardstick the other day because I couldn't find my tape measure to measure my shoulders across, because I mean I'm so freaking jacked. I actually measured them across because I was thinking of buying some new shirts, and the measurements were weird. They weren't like small, medium, large. They are in measurements of shoulders across and then like seam. And I was like, damn, I'm like, I don't know my shoulders. And then like, I know my suit size, like 42 regular and stuff like that. But I was like, I don't know all these measurements. And I'm like, I'm getting confused. Your problem is hands and old age. That's fine. So Cindy, I would say actually don't put too much pressure on it. Yeah, it's nice when you have horizon lines that are level or straight. It adds to the appeal. But you know what? If yours are a little, let's just say a current term, cattywampus, a little wavy, a little off-skewed, that can just be your style, you know? You don't have to follow all the straight rules. You can be aware of the rules and break them. But if it is a personal problem to you or something that doesn't resonate with you, because that's fine, is just take a little more time. If you have shaky hands, it's okay to use tools like we said, like a ruler, yardstick, or the T-square, which is also another good one that you can have. So don't be afraid to invest in things like that and take some extra time when doing it. Do I have a separate workout channel? Because this is fucking huge. No. Because this emoji has a huge... That's what we call pre-COVID, Ryan. We'll go with that. No, I'm in shape, just not that cut. All right, let's take a look at a few of some of the pictures from TwitchCon really quick. I'll pull up here. Let me just make sure nothing else is going to show up on here really quick. So these are just little fun things that we did. Meadow didn't get a chance to go to COVID didn't get a chance to go to TwitchCon this year, so let's be a little fun. So this was midday here. How do I work Dropbox? Can I mid-zoom? I can. Okay. I can't click and drag. No, I cannot. So we were in Artist Alley. We were like right in the middle. I think there was about 42 booths, perhaps, which was nice. Everybody had fantastic art. It's mostly digital art. I was probably one of the only traditional artists there, and I would probably say there was maybe 4 total, if I could pick it to a number. And then some digital artists also do some traditional work, like originals, but it's still like a digital piece of artwork on a certain type of print. So this was our booth, kind of like second or third day here. This is Tally, which you guys have sometimes seen on the channel. My buddy Nick, who's helped me out selling and pulling pieces down and giving it to people and wrapping up. Of course, myself. And then my buddy Joe, who I've met from Twitch, and his wife Jess. We're all super fun. If you guys ever want a really cool trick, if you ever run your own booth or farmer's market or outdoor event, let's say, if you want a really good way to lure people to your booth, because you'd be surprised at how many looky-loos just walk by. No joke, the best tip I could ever give you is, you can see this bowl down here that has a very hard word for you guys to see, would be the word free on it. Offer free candy. Hey, what's up, Ryan? I don't remember if I said hello. I feel bad. Sorry, my fault. Offer free candy because people will walk up because they want like a mint or a Jolly Rancher or a piece of chocolate because they just want something to either clean their breath or suck on, or I don't know, a little sugar rush. They come up and that's your chance to say like, hey, how you doing? And then they'll just, of course, oblige and be like, oh, I'm doing good. How about you? And then you kind of spark up a little conversation and pull them in. Trust me, it works wonders. One of the best tips I could ever give you. You'd be surprised. This is me. This is when we were just setting up here in the morning. I believe this is morning. It's gonna be at night. Yeah, I think this is in the morning on Thursday, because you can see the booth is all clean with the racks that we have to go up on. We got these little cool little S hooks, which I'll at some point make a video for you guys on all the stuff that we used to make our booth, because ours was the most popular booth. And it was probably the most well decorated. I wouldn't say it was the nicest looking one, because we wanted ours to be more of an eye catcher, like a moth to the flame kind of thing. A lot of people have this really cool trellis that goes up or encloses and does this and does that. Ours was just like eye popping, which is what I want. I want something to be like, ooh, what's that bright one over there? Just wanted to drop by and say that your videos about starting Twitch and everything were amazing. Although I don't see much more where they help me. Wait, although I don't do it anymore, they help me a lot. Well, Jake, I am glad that I could help you. I am also getting back into doing Twitch stuff, which I need to do for some of my company things, but slow journey. Hopefully, you still have found a journey and fun doing some sort of streaming on YouTube, Twitch, or making content creation, because don't give up on it. It's a fun little journey. And also, thank you very much for the birthday wishes. All right, so then we had, can we get rid of that? There we go. That's Nick. This is us setting up the booth again. I always like to get a pre-picture. You can tell this is before the convention because look how happy we are and not tired. You'll know Nick because he sometimes comes on the channel here, and his name is Primal Instincts, who also has a YouTube channel. He does Minecraft game content and creative game content. Here's Tally. You guys have seen his beautiful acrylic photos and pictures that we've done on here. This is our booth all set up day one. Look how happy and energetic we are. We have no idea what we're in for. So our idea for this one, we wish we had more time to organize it a little bit better because of some of our pieces take up a lot of space, but we threw on the left side all of our abstracts, or my abstracts, because I was the only one working on abstracts this year. And then I did my liquid flows on one side. It's hard to put some pieces below you because people can't see it as they walk by because eye level. So we try to only put a couple pieces up higher. And then my originals, which were up on corner to corner, which you'll see in another photo, or actually here, and another corner. And then Tally had the right side. So that way people could figure out which artist was kind of which. But then we had so many different pieces that fit uniquely in certain spots. It became a little difficult, but you always want to try to make it a little uniform if you can. And then here's my buddy John Boy. He's another artist, amazing digital artist who does do some original pieces on canvas with acrylic paint, which you see over on this right-hand side. He's a Twitch streamer. He makes a lot of like, oh god, I would say like pop culture influence with graffiti pop and like a little bit of grunge spin in there. Does really cool kind of styles that are really unique. It's like real awesome street art. He actually does really good digital emojis if anybody's ever interested, or like logo avatar design. If you guys are ever interested in that, just let me know. I can always give you his contact information. This is my friend Amanda Ruth Art, who's a CRI artist. She's been trained. She loves to do animals. I don't know if she does as many now, but you can see them over here on the right-hand side. She does a lot of corgi stuff, which does really amazing for her. She does influences like you can see like the DBZ Vegeta. I can't think of what this anime character is from this show at the moment. And then she'll do like a lot of like cool like modern art influenced with a corgi in there. You know, like she would do something like the Mona Lisa, but then the Mona Lisa's face would be a corgi. And then I didn't really think I got a photo of it, but on the left side was all of her landscape art. And then she did something really cool, which was below this, is she took a canvas sheet, a long canvas sheet, probably like a couple feet down by a couple feet, and then cordoned off with painter's tape and made a bunch of small squares and painted almost virtually the same painting over and over and over and over and over in the same squares, which is like Northern Lights, mountain on a black background with a little bit of color and snow. And then she would cut all those squares and she put them in these little picture frames to make Christmas ornaments. And that was really cool because those were selling pretty good. I think for something that didn't take her too much time, she sold them for like $12 a piece, and they were going pretty quick. I think she made like 30 of them, and by the time at the end of the convention, I think she only had like 2 or 5 left, which I think may have already been claimed. I'm not sure. But great, amazing artist. Not on YouTube. She should be. She's on Twitch. Amanda Ruth. R-U-T-H Art, A-R-T, if you're ever interested. Very nice, very sweet. And she does a really cool thing where if you guys like Studio Ghibli, she does Bob Ross paintings with a Studio Ghibli influence on them. Or we'll put like a Studio Ghibli character in the landscape. So pretty cool. She does a lot of things, I think, with mostly acrylic. So just to let you know, there's the almighty Bob Ross. We were like right behind or right underneath that sign. This is, I think, day 1 or maybe, yeah, day 1 where it's starting. Food and beverage was okay. Hopefully they fixed that a little bit. I posted this picture on Twitter. You guys got to see. So one of the things that I love to do is I like to teach people how to paint something. Generally at the convention, it'll be a cloud, a mountain, or tree, because that's kind of the easiest thing to teach within like a 15-minute lesson as people walk by. And it's so funny because people are always extremely nervous. They're like, I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it. I'm like, you can't ruin it. You can't ruin it. Just have fun. And people are always amazed. So this girl, her name is Ness, or my name is Ness, or Ness Mess, something like that. She had never painted a mountain. And I was like, you want to try? And you can see, oh, can I scroll? I guess you can see like she did the mountain shape, and it's a little hard to see on your guys' screen, and then she did the paint breaks. And so her first one was over here, then second one was over here, and then third one was over here. And I'm like, it just takes time. It just takes feel. And then like, look at her third one. She got like a perfect paint break after awesome direction by Handsome Me. It worked out fantastic. So that just goes to show you that anyone can learn how to paint if you just give it a little bit of time and attention. What's up, Lorraine? How you doing there? Hopefully you're having a good morning. Where's my mouse? There we go. And then this is just people. I went to the bathroom and then to go get lunch, and I came back like 45 minutes later, and I saw these people walking away. And I was like, that's my art. And they're like, yeah, we just bought it. And I was like, oh, cool. Can I get a picture with you? They were super nice. They're like, we saw it and we had to have it. They're like, we know exactly where it's going in our house. And I was like, cool. I'm glad I could make you happy. So it's a 2-tone piece that you put side by side. You can do black side up or blue side up. Either way works, because it's all one continuous piece. And this photo doesn't show it much, but it's got this nice little clear coat on it, which is cool too. I miss you. I miss you too. I'm glad I can spend a little bit of birthday fun time with you. Any new tutorials coming up soon? So the one tutorial we had was on the cloud ones. That was really intense, taking time, because I think it was like a 12-minute video where I explained everything vividly well. The next painting video I have coming up, which I was working on yesterday, I kind of forget. Hold on, I got phone number is going off. What was my video on? I'll have to go back and think. It's on something simple, but impactful. As I talk here, I'm sure I'll think about it. The next one, it seems like most people wanted help with mountains or some form of water for a lesson. And then on an actual tutorial one, I keep telling myself I'm going to do this, Cindy. I really have a strong desire to do like a Wine Wednesday, like a fun one. Like, the whole format is I kind of make it fun, sexy, suave, educational, but it's going to be about painting. But I also want to take like an intermission break in between the lesson and talk about the wine, because I think it'd be kind of fun. I love wine. It was a strong passion of mine, still is to a little bit of a degree. And then go back into the painting lessons. And I wanted my first one to be on how to paint like a very simple Northern Lights. And then I wanted to do, I have this painting that I found from someone else that they're like, hey, can you help me with it? And I helped them. And I was like, after I helped them, like, this would actually make a really good quick tutorial. Like a 3-minute, 5-minute tutorial, which was just a very light sunsetty pink sky. Off on the left-hand side was a cliff that overhangs into a water like lake kind of thing with just some ripples and stuff. Very simple. And then you just like sprinkle on some stars. Oh yeah, you can drink. This would be a VOD. It wouldn't be a live thing. It would be a VOD. I want to make like Wine Wednesday VODs. So that way, if you can't be there, you can crack a bottle open with you and your girlfriends, boyfriends, family, cousins, whatever it is. And then, you know, you drink, you have fun, and then you just kind of go at your own speed with it. Back to the picture. So this is Tally. This was his piece that was in the art gallery. It's a really amazing piece. And it was, the funny story is there was probably about like, I don't know, 20 TVs here cycling about 5 to 10 different pieces of art from different artists. And his was the only TV that was stuck on his art for the entire time. And we were just laughing. But it was an amazing piece, as you can see. The high contrast value of the light source coming down, creating all these specular highlights on this like mountain valley cliffs that fades out into complete black. And then it's a little hard to see down here, but there's a lady swimming in a canoe going straight towards the light. Very cool and powerful piece. Yes, all by myself. Hey, nothing wrong. I drink by myself too sometimes. Here's me waking up on the second day, all hungover. No explanation needed. I think you can understand the expression right on my face. Getting up at 8 a.m., not feeling that well, and going, fuck, I have to power through. And I did. And then here's San Diego. Over here where the structure is over on the right-hand side, this is the view from my hotel room, is Petco Park where the Padres play. It's a very nice park. If you ever get a chance to visit San Diego, and see a game, highly recommend it. It's a beautiful park. Here's the other side. I just thought the sun coming in was kind of cool. Here's us setting up again. Or no, wait. This might be us. Yeah, this is us actually breaking down the day. So when you set up for a con, you get 1 day to set up, and then at the very end of the day, when whatever the time frame is over, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever it is, breaking down is like the best part and the worst part, because you're so tired and exhausted from doing all this stuff that you're burnt on fumes and going. But we brought so much stuff. Like you can see all like, we're unsnipping all of the RGB lights, putting all the pods away, getting the art all wrapped up, because I offer shipping on some of my pieces, because some people live in different states or different countries that wanted me to ship to them and don't want to carry it around. And so it's a big old event that takes a little while. Here's more of me painting and teaching people. You can see like this lady who I believe was from England, believe it or not, jolly old England. She was all super scared, but she walked back and forth a couple times watching what I was doing and was like, oh, I want to try. And she's like, but I don't want to mess it up. I'm like, no, give it a shot. I think we were painting mountains this day. And then this girl in the yellow was fascinated. She stopped and watched for like a straight hour. And then I was like, do you want to give it a try? She's like, no, no. She was super shy, but it's fun. I like breaking people out of their shells because they get super confident. They're like, oh my God, this is amazing. So that was super fun. Oh, and I guess you could see in the background too, like you can see the art of some of the other artists, like right back here. This guy made amazing stuff. His name was Human for Scale. He does all these really cool digital pieces. He had like a full set of a dragon series. Then he had an elemental series in the middle. And then the left was kind of like influence or inspired by, because he had things like from Final Fantasy, Star Wars, Legend of Zelda, and so forth. He was an amazing artist. Really cool guy too. He's really nice. So here's that same girl. So I was showing her how to make paint breaks coming down to the palette knife and how to hold her hand and feel comfortable and follow the shape, which I've shown you guys a few times before. Here's my friend Tane Tenshi. She's a very awesome VTuber. An amazing artist. She doesn't do as much art anymore, but I hope she gets back into it. I was showing her how to like be steady with her hand as she comes down across. Look at the intense look on my face because I want her to nail it. Really fun, cool friend. I was showing her like this is where you want to go with the lines for the paint break, so that way you can make the illusion of paint break. Oh, and it's funny too because you can see like people would always record what we're doing or like live stream it down here in the bottom right hand corner. People just walk up, they're like, you mind if I get this? I was like, yeah, it's fine. I'm very confident and I'm handsome. Here's that same girl doing holding the palette and getting everything ready to do paint breaks. Here's another girl. She was doing mountains, I believe. I think this is mountains because I got blue paint on there as well. She was super nervous too, but she had a blast. She's like, oh my God, I'm actually painting something. This is my friend Hailu's, I think, girlfriend. We were painting clowns, as you can see here. And it was so funny because she was like into it, not into it when we started. And at the very end, she was like, oh my God, I made a cloud. And then she's like, I want to do another one. She actually made one of the best clouds. Here I'm just teaching some guys. I think this one we were just doing clouds because we were blending in and just putting in a basic sky. And I believe this guy right here, the last 3 times I've done TwitchCon and done painting, he's like, dude, I come to you every year and I paint something. And he's like, I love it. And I was like, cool. I don't remember him because you meet so many people, but he's like, I remember you. And I was like, good enough. Dude, on-site, there's like people that do a lot of like painting that are way better than me. I get nervous because when I paint so slowly sometimes, but I'm always amazed. I can nail clouds and I can nail mountains, so I usually stick with those. But if I had to do a tree, I have to do trees slowly. And also, I don't bring all my painting supplies and all my tools, so I kind of keep it like within a wheelhouse to make people feel comfortable. I forget this girl, but she was like part of Twitch staff and also like an affiliate or something like that. She was super nice. She came by every day to paint something new, and it was super, super energetic. And I love when people are that and have a passion for art. Here's Nick running the booth, so you can see some of Tally's art here, which is really nice. So here is my my originals. Those sold really quick, and then some liquid flows, and then this one right here was the one that we did right here live on stream or on the channel that sold. And then we have Tally's acrylics. Every Tally original acrylic sold fast. This one right here, it's kind of hard to see, but it's a zipper opening into a woman's eye, then goes into the whatever you want to call like the wrinkles above and below the eye, going into valleys a little bit. Then on the end of the eyelashes to the point of the eye comes out to birds exploding out from the eyelashes and wrinkles fading off to the right hand side of the canvas. Extremely beautiful. And then within the iris of the eye, where all the color is a mountain that leads up to the pupil and then a sky fading off. We had probably 100 people ask about this piece, and then I can't remember what we sold it for, 200, 400, somewhere in there, but it was like a hard sell, and then somebody bought it the very last day. And that's kind of how original art will happen at a convention, is people don't want to carry things around, or if it's a higher price item, they have to think about it. But all these little nebulas, which are hard to see, we did a lot of cracked nebulas, like 3 to 5 cracked nebulas, and they all sold day one. So it's funny to see what people are into certain seasons or years. Here's our booth all lit up. So we had all these colors and RGB changing things. It was actually really, really cool. This piece right here sold day one. And then I think this piece right here, which is on one of my videos of like, I can't remember what it was. I think it's how to make extreme highlights. That sold before the con even opened. A security guard bought it, believe it or not. It's just so funny who you can sell to. And then this is breaking the third wall, fourth dimension. We had a Minecraft character come up and paint some happy little, I guess, clouds / mountains here. I attached the palette knife to his hand. And look how funny that is. Everybody was like, that's the coolest thing ever. I actually have to, like, tweet that out because I feel bad because I have to see. Can you even see the guy's name? I forgot what his name is. But I was like, I'll send it to you. Oh, God. It looks like it says, like, Randy something 2020. But real cool guy. Really nice. Really cool costume. And here's that girl I was talking about. She was, like, super into the art and had fun. And now we're to the art, which we've got back here. So let's go to this, and I can set up for my first channel review. But that was like my little adventure that I wanted to share with you guys on my B-Day, because I thought it was really cool. I had tons more pictures, but I just grabbed some really, really quick. It was a super fun experience. I had a blast, and I love teaching people how to paint and all that fun stuff. All right, let's set up here. Let me get my Photoshop on. Oh, thank you for watching, Meadow. Hopefully next year. I know you're not doing as much Twitch, but if you get a little time away, love to see you again. San Diego. Bring the hubby. Bring your positive vibes, and we'll have a good time. All right, so I got two paintings here from Ace and Eric. So Ace, I'm going to start with you because you're a YouTube channel member. So let me load this into Photoshop here really quick for you so we can pull it up. Let me duplicate the layer really quick and make that a little bit bigger. Where's my coffee? There it is. Ah, delicious. Hold on, I got a voicemail from somebody that lives near me. That's not my number. Let's see. Are you going to translate? No. Oh, crap. It was the guy I've been waiting to call me back to paint my house. Crap. I'll call him back. At least he called me back. At least I know it. Alrighty. All right, Ace, let's take a look at your artwork here and switch on over to the review. So if you guys have never been here for a review before, we're going to do it kind of quick and easy because I wasn't going to stream too long today, but this will be nice and fun. It's an open forum here. If you see something you like in the painting, make sure you let Ace know. If you don't, we take criticism here. This is to help us all build and be better. Just give on-point criticism. Let them know what you like in the feedback. And I'm going to try to give general directions on what I think could make the photo better, or the painting better, sorry. And if they struggled with anything in particular, we'll discuss it really quick just to give people a little bit of direction, a little more confidence, you know. Ace, if you don't mind me asking, what number painting do you think this is? And how long do you think you spent on painting it? So that way it gives the community a little bit of a perspective on what to expect or where they are. So from what I can see here, this looks like a beautiful oil painting. And may I just say, Ace, this looks really good. I think you have some perspective issues, which we'll address here in a moment. But overall, I think this is extremely good. I actually love the flow of this painting. All right, so let's take a look of what I can find here. So first of all, your cloud, or not your cloud, so your sky in the top left or right corner just look a tiny bit patchy. Like, I think, like, right, oh, you know what I need to do? I need to get, wrong button. Oh, double wrong button. Triple wrong button, there we go. I forgot to get my brushes set. Let's set this up with red. There we go. We'll set this up with green. There we go. So, get on the brush here. Let's reduce that size by a lot. There we go. Even more. All right, so in this, oh gosh darn it. Come on, opacity. Sorry, I use this for making. So in that corner there, and in this corner here, it looks a little patchy, and I would say that's usually done from when you have liquid white and you're putting it on your base. On the rails, so on the frame, you sometimes don't get as much on the side, which means it can leave that little porous spot, which it looks like you got a little bit on those sides here, which means paint will grab in different ways. Make sure you, when you go across with your liquid white, you go all the way up and down from side to side. And then I like to take my hand, turn it, go up and down and go side to side that way. And then I go back one more time. This way, I feel like I get an even coating all the way across. It also looks like you got a little heavy handed on your clouds and those two particular spots there from the leftover paint. However, with that said, these, I think, if I can remember correctly, might be the best clouds you've ever done. And here's why. Look at all the beautiful movement you've got going up in these clouds. I'm going to make this a harder angle. There we go. Look at all these beautiful crowns that I call them coming up into all these different motions that play on all these different layers. It's awesome. It's beautiful and it works. Now, I'm not an entire fan of the angle you decided for all these different clouds here, because they're all kind of different and funky looking unique shapes. But you know what? Clouds don't have to follow rules. However, if I was going to redo this painting, I would pick where my focal point is going to be. And you don't have to do this, but if you wanted to make a stronger focal point, let's just say your focal point for the rule of easiness for us was here, okay? You would want to make everything kind of forced to that point. And you kind of did it by making your vignette darker in the corners, there, and there. So you succeeded in pulling our attention to the middle, okay, by sheer contrast alone. Another thing that you can do is with your clouds can angle in this general direction as well, making a stronger focal point to that center. And you do that extremely well with this set of clouds on your right-hand side. This one remains neutral, which is fine, but then these clouds on the left flip up and crescendo down on this side, pulling our attention to the off side of the canvas rather than when they should be pulling towards this angle here. So I would take these clouds and I would just dip this angle down and just kind of float them up in this general direction towards the angle. So that way it's pulling our attention more towards the center. But again, it's just a perspective thing. Doesn't mean what I say is right or wrong, and doesn't mean what you did was right or wrong. It's just a little added thing you can do. But these are some of the best clouds. I love the defined tops, soft bottoms. I see transparencies in them. Looks like there's depth. Your mountains are looking extremely good too, with the details that you got going on here. The only thing I think I would say would help is I would actually say your best portion of your mountain is right here, because there's less detail in it. They look further away. The only advice I would give is, in my mind, this mountain right here is in front of this mountain range here. They don't look like they're connected because there's no swoop connecting the two. So you've easily determined that this mountain's in front of this mountain ridge here. So what I would do is, one, I would make more of a mist effect here, separating out the distance in the mountain so it looks like it's further back because you can't have as much detail. Two is I would be a lot less heavy-handed with paint here, and I would actually dull down the paint with a little bit of the gray mountain mixture. So when it's dull, it's going to look like it's further back because, again, there's less detail, making this mountain stand out more with more stark white on top of it, okay? And then I notice your mountains are kind of a little bit all the same, point, 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 and then you actually go like a little bit of ridgy here, which is what I like. But you got 3 points here. I would make these a little more ridgy because I think that's how the perspective would work as it fades out. And then I would make this a little bit bigger, and then add something that's a horrible crackle. I would add something that goes up, down, and across with a few more bumps in it, looking more natural and cutting off and through. But all in all, good job. A little heavy-handed on the snow, as you can see. I'm sure you're still learning it, but it looks way, way good. You like the top cloud with the funky U? This one right here? If that's what you mean, I do too. You know why I like it? Because it looks like it has specular highlights coming in and kissing it in different angles. And it looks like it actually has some strong movement, like wind is ripping it a little bit. So I agree if that's the same one that you're talking about, Meadow. All right. Then we come across with your tree and mountainside here. Or sorry, a tree line cutting into your mountainside. That looks very good. If I was going to do this, you would want to make this even a little bit lighter. Oh, it says reconnect. Let me know if I'm still on. I gotta check my own stream here. Shows I'm still going. It said OBS crashed and then disconnected and then reconnected. I'm hoping I'm fine. I'm back. Thank you, Meadow. Cool. Been so long. That's my first disconnect on YouTube's side. How funny. And it was that OBS one. That was where it just took like a fat dump and then came back. For your tree line, since this is in the background, this background layer right here, where my face is, I'll move my face for just a second if I can find where my camera's at. There we go. You want to make this lighter because we're creating depth a little bit, okay? So you make that a little bit lighter in color, and also you want to make sure you have a little bit of a darker top for when you're cutting these trees in, because what's going to look like at the bottom is when you lighten it here, is it looks like you're seeing air or distance in between the trunks, because remember, a trunk doesn't have really branches on it. There's a gap space there, and then, you know, foliage on top of it, so you can sometimes see through, which is going to add to the illusion of distance in your trees. Don't worry about that. I would say to create the illusion, just make it darker top and pull the color down. But it looks good. I love the perspective. I love how you pulled all the color down and swooping at this angle. I would probably, if it was me, you see this beautiful contrast. Actually, you can't because my face is in this way. You see this beautiful contrast and natural fade that you have going on right here. You've got this light blue and shadowy gray and then white highlights with all this different texture on it. You see how much beautiful, beautiful depth you naturally created there. You still need to create that in the background a little bit. Excuse me. And you did it here very, very well. But there's nothing really, really here. Create the illusion by taking like a fan brush or a filbert and take a little blue or blue-gray or gray and just jagging some lines, and that's going to make it look like there's valleys and hills in there, and then you can blend it in with the white paint so it's nice and smooth and has no detail because it's in the background, but it's going to give the illusion like the land rises and lowers in certain spots very easily. You did it here, but these are more shadows from the trees, because you can see your tree goes up and then the shadow comes down and across. Tree goes up, shadow comes down and across, and then you repeat that, which is very smart, and it adds to the illusion of depth and nature, or natural nature in there, okay? All the water looks very, very good. Let me get my beautiful face back because we know that's the moneymaker here. This tree sucks a big dong. Not enough color, not enough consistency. Mud mixing beyond belief. I think you can easily tell that's your worst tree. It just needs a lot of help. These ones over here aren't bad. You still have some mud mixing application issues. I would say the issue you're having is you're putting paint on paint. So get yourself a little bit of medium there and apply it to your paint tree mixture so that it becomes a little more fattier and a little more flexible. And take your time. This is only your 7th painting, you said. So instead of it taking 3 hours, have it take 3 hours and 30 minutes and spend a lot more time dabbing those trees in. Don't try to do those fast zigzag motions. Try to go boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Paintbrush is contaminated, ran out of paint. Wipe off, reload. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. And slowly work from there. Remember, we're not Bob Ross. We can't go da 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 da. I'm still not that good at it. So take your time and find out the right application of paint for it, okay? I love this side. You did very well with the breaking of the land by mimicking paint breaks on snow. What I would probably do is, rather than take your palette knife and hold it at this 90-degree angle and pull down to the left just like that, I would add a little bit of a swoop motion. I would probably actually drop this in with a fan or filbert brush. Remember, your land kind of plateaus a little bit depending on what's growing on it. So I would come down and then swoop. I would almost do like a little S motion like that. Okay, scrub that in with a filbert, with other underground-based colors you want. Then when you come back with your palette knife, come over it gingerly and then add in certain spots where you think you want the little pieces of snow or rocks or lands to hit. And it's going to add a little more depth and texture to your painting and a little more character. I love the water lines that you did. I think you did a good job of fading out there and back and across. And And I love the flow of the land, how it goes like in this general direction. You actually did a very good job of forcing your land to go to the left and then bringing it back to the right, looking like it has a natural cove. The only thing I think you failed at a little bit is this curvature of land doesn't look natural with the perspective. What I would do if I was you, and this is tough because I struggle with this all the time, this should be more of a straight line as it comes down. And then as you build these next planes that come down with it, you almost want to cut your path across it while swooping in with the path motion. Because what that's going to do is it's going to make more straight lines here, which is going to look like this water is eating into the valley side, carving this little river. So instead of making this strong S turn, you would basically bring down the land right here, stop, then make land, 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 and that's going to carve in more of the nature. You can carve this land in and down like that so it curves, but that's going to make it a little more easy and more natural for you. And that's just tough to see. All in all, I think it's very good. Your trees still need some help. And since this is your 7th painting, what I would probably recommend that you do, buddy, is do all of the dark texture on the trees, let it dry for a day or two because you're going to be using that fattier paint, then come back with some liquid white and just dab it on top of your trees, creating that illusion of snow sitting on it or icicles, freezing upon it. And then it's going to add a lot more distance and texture and depth to your painting, and it's going to look really good. But all in all, I think this is a fantastic winter painting. I get good vibes. I get good flow from it. I love how it really, really looks. I think you did a fantastic job. To be honest, my favorite part of your painting is this little element right here. Like literally just this bottom portion corner. And the reason I love it so much is it resonates with me because you did so many things right here. And what you did is we reconnect. Hopefully you're back. Okay. Should be back now. Sorry about that. I don't know why it's doing that. This first time I've tried streaming it on a weekday, so I wonder if there's more people at work using the internets around here. What I was saying, because I don't know where I left off at, I just love this bottom part. You did such a good job of creating detail, which is in the foreground, which really draws our eye. I love how the ice looks natural. I love how the path looked like it's actually visually been walked on because it feels worn down and walked on. And I love the contrast creation in the ice that you made. That is literally my favorite part. And it looks like you put more effort into it and it felt more natural for you. Thank you, Pittman. I appreciate the comebacks, and thank you for being here as I come back. I wonder how that works on the live stream. I wonder if that breaks it up into like 5 little streams, which I hope not. Hopefully it stitches it together. All in all, extremely, extremely beautiful. I think you did a fantastic job. And I'm starting to see a lot of the progression that you're doing, buddy. A lot of the progression, and it's awesome. So, fantastical. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing, Ace. Obviously, you need work on trees. So here's what I would do. Here's what I do if I was you. Obviously, I'm gonna be your bro, and I'm gonna be honest. Your trees suck, and that's fine because they should. What I would do is rather than doing 6 to 17 trees, whatever you had in that painting, do 3. Figure out where you want those 3 trees to go, and spend more time on those 3 trees than you did on like the 10 or 12 or 14 other trees, because that's going to give you more time to figure out the mechanics, more time to figure out the pressure, more time to figure out the paint, more time to figure out your flow, more time to figure out your composure, more time to figure out the composition, and that's going to help you pay off a lot. I know there's something to be said about repetition and practicing the same thing over and over, but there's also something to be said for practicing the same thing correctly over and over. You don't just do 1,000 shitty sit-ups, I'd rather have you do like 20 really good hitting the muscle sit-ups. And that's what I'm trying to do, is train your muscles so that we get muscle memory and confidence. But awesome. Love it. Hey, what's up, Carrie? Wishing you a happy birthday, as amazing as you are. Thanks for sharing it with us. Well, thank you for sharing your life with me, because you make it worth living. So thank you so much. And Chris, how do you submit your work? Twitter and Instagram is the best, my friend. Pittman, I'm new and I watch your videos and it made me want to start painting again. So thank you for that. Well, I'm glad I can give you the confidence to pick up the paintbrush again, but I just think having a creative outlet is something everyone should have. I think it's a lifesaver and a de-stressor in life, and everybody needs one of those, if not a few of those. Alrighty. Next we got up Eric. Eric, are you still here? Because then I'll do you, buddy. I'll do you, provided the internet holds up strong. And also, Chris, how's your day going today for you, bud? Hopefully you're doing well. I know, I'm trying not to scare you. I'm not doing anything with the internet. This is my first YouTube stream during the day on a weekday. So, kind of enlightening if it does this. Although I haven't upgraded to the newest OBS Studio, so that might be part of the issue, but usually it's the other way around. When you update to the newest ones, it has errors in it and it breaks. All right, yeah, you are here. Let me grab yours. It's about the 10th to 15th painting. It took about an hour. All right, cool. My favorite part of your painting is the Listerine bottle that's in the background there. That we're all going to see. Hey, nothing wrong with having minty fresh breath while you paint. Someone's trying to impress the ladies, and that's my job. Okie dokie here. Let's, this is cool. This is a great practice painting, and I love how you have it on cardboard. And a cool little trick that you can always do to save paint rather than beating the devil out of your brush. If you don't have the devil in your brush, or you don't have a devil to sanctify, or whatever you would call it, is you have all this extra cardboard. You can take your paintbrush, and when you want to clean it off, just tap it on the side, and it'll like clean all the paint off, and it'll grab into the porous parts of the cardboard. And then just wipe it off on a shop towel so that way you don't get any of the debris on there. But this is a good little way of doing it. Just make sure if you're going to do it on cardboard, Eric, that you have something sitting strong behind the cardboard, so when you put pressure, there's not too much give, like a little piece of wood or a couple pieces of cardboard back there, okay? But let's take a look. Oh, and here's the almighty Listerine bottle hanging back there, just in case you guys were checking it out. It looks like it's one of those alcohol-free ones. And you can tell it's a new bottle too, because it looks like it's got the plastic wrap still on it. So this man's got some wealth, affording beautiful Listerine bottles. Alrighty, let's take a look at what we got here. We got a beautiful, beautiful landscape painting, simplistic, which is always a favorite of mine. Going from a nice blue-gray sky into some soft but detailed clouds in some spots there, up to our mountains, to our tree line with a little bit of shrubbery at the base. Then what looks to be, I guess you call it like a little river, meadow, pond, water overflow way. I like it, with some grass foothills in here, all encapsulating on the sides and holding the water together. Very, very, very good. I like this. I like this a lot, okay? Yeah, cardboard is great for thickening cheap paint. I do it all the time. Just make sure you clean off your cardboard before you do it, because there could be like pulp, like paper pulp on the cardboard that you don't want to get into your paint. You like the way that he did the skyline with the sun shining through the clouds? Very good. I think he did fantastic. Let's see how we can help and tear apart his painting to build him up, because that's what I like to do. First of all, you did a fantastic job, like we said in the last painting, is you created a basic vignette. And when you create darker corners, it helps pull your eye to a vivid center point, or where you're trying to direct the eye. So good job. So fantastic right off the bat. I love the flow of your clouds, kind of all going the same way up and across, and you got a little bit of detail in here. What I would say is, if you knew you're gonna do, or if you know, not knew, or maybe, I don't know, it'd be past tense. If you know you're gonna do a cloud here, a really cool trick to make them stand out, because I love the vividness, but you lost a little bit of the vividness when you went in for the blending, okay? And in my new video, I show you how to hold the paintbrush at like the 45, 65 degree angle and lightly blend down so it pulls that body in. What I'd recommend is, when you're putting these clouds in here, and here, and here, take your shop towel, wad it up with your 2 fingers, and gingerly rub off the paint underneath here, and here, and here. And it's gonna expose more of the toothing of that paper and canvas material, so that way when you apply your clouds, they're gonna snag onto that paper a little bit more, making them a little more bold in certain areas, leading to these beautiful crowns that you got up in here. Very simple technique, very easy. And I would say if you want to make them even more vivid when you go over them, then just add a few more dabs with like your filbert fan brush, just here, here, and here, and here, and just blend and lift, so that we get a little more texture up in there. That looks like sunlight is coming down and kissing the sides, or sunlight is coming down and kissing this side, because you've established your highlight side over here. Love the fade of the sky that you got. Let's get to the part where I think you had a little bit of struggle with, and it's Tiger Claw Mountains. Okay, so you have a Tiger Claw going boom, boom, boom. You got a nice little Tiger Claw going through it, which isn't bad, but it's not good. You can probably notice it now that I mentioned it. And you got your mountains are just straight triangles. You know, we got 1 triangle, 2 triangle, 3 triangle. And now that like I draw straight lines, you're like, shit, I see it. So what I would recommend to fix this is the rule of 3 is good. What I'd recommend is think about your 3 mountains, okay? We know you've got all this canvas, so you can pull your mountain over here and pull it off over here, which you did over on your left and right, but you made it look like a triangle. So what I would do is I would come up, do 1 mountain, fade, come down, come up, make this one higher, because you want them a little different, come down, and then maybe this has got a little, a little one right there, and then fades off. Both these fade off, and make sure you fade them off so it's got these nice soft bottoms. And that's gonna look more natural. Or if you want, whoops, I didn't mean to delete that layer. You can come up, small mountain, big mountain that comes up around this cloud, and then fade off and down and kind of like that. So that way when you take your lines and add your highlights, you've got more room for this breakup now, and that way you can bring all of your different sides across. You can the green's gonna illustrate your shadow, comes down and through, just like that. This is gonna come down in front of that. And now you've added a lot more depth and distance in your painting by having different heights in your mountains and making them less look like triangles, and that just comes with time. So when you think about your mountains, step back and think about how you can make them higher or lower, or how you can break them up or move them in certain directions, okay? Let's reduplicate that layer. Little heavy-handed on the snow. Looks like you had some issues getting it to paint break. My next one, oh, that's what my video is about. A simple trick on how to make paint break. Oh, you're gonna be stoked on that video when it comes out. Shit, that's what it was. It's a cool little tip. I'm not gonna give it away just yet because you gotta watch the video. That's what my friends, we call a tease in the YouTube world. So that's what the video's on. I knew I'd come to me. So watch that video because it's gonna show you a simple little tip and trick that I refresh my memory on feeling comfortable to make paint break, okay? But it looks like you could probably wipe off a little bit more paint and just practice the motion before you actually go on here to get it to go. But all in all, not bad. I would say at the beginning, exaggerate your contrast on your mountains. You have too similar of a light blue to the white to where it's not making much contrast. Do a little bit of a darker blue so it really bolds out and makes that contrast. It's not going to look realistic, but remember, we're practicing to build your skills. The more you can visualize, which means the contrast is going to help you visualize, the better it's going to be for you to grow your skills. Carrie asks, would you ever consider an art review specifically geared towards beginners? Seeing the reviews and other artists' work is so helpful. I also appreciate the willingness to share. Yeah, 100%. I would be willing to do that. I have a video that I did, Carrie, that if you go back and look, probably a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a month or two now, a video of where I review my own art that I did at the beginning. And it was probably my 3rd or 5th painting. And I show you what you can do to make it better that I know now that I didn't know then. And it's actually a very, very good and insightful video to watch. But yes, I'd be willing to do like an art review geared towards beginners. That's kind of what that video is or was. I know what it's like to start from the beginning, which is why I think people resonate with my videos, because I know like what mistakes you all go through because I've made them all, Robalex Learning, how you doing there? Oh my God, Wild, I was finally able to catch a stream. You're alive. I love watching your videos. Well, thank you, Robalex. I appreciate it. I'm glad I can make your paintings awesome, hopefully in the Robo world, in the real world as well. I paint bet, how do you make your clouds so cool? Mine are so poor right now. If you watch my brand new video, or my newest one, on how to paint clouds like Bob Ross, that's literally how I paint them. Watch the whole entire video. I take my time. The real trick to making really good clouds is, no joke, letting go of thinking you have to think like a cloud, which requires you to be free and loose, depending on the type of cloud you want to make. And then everything after that is having a very, 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 very soft touch, which comes with time and practice. And a lot of times I still wipe my clouds away because my hand even goes a little heavy. I could probably blame the booze on that, but that's just me. But that's really, really the answer. All right. Next is the part that I think you did fantastical on, Eric, is you have these beautiful trees creating a beautiful forced perspective, which is fantastic. From this distance, your tree illusion looks great. I see multiple trees at different angles that work in a very, very good perspective with how you painted them on. I almost can't give any criticism because for a beginner, dude, this is extremely good. I think you had some application issues, obviously, like for some reason you had more application issues on your right side than you did on your left side, which makes me think that you probably started with your right and then you understood and then apply that to the left, which is good. Or you started with your left and you had more paint to make it look better. Then when you got to the right, you ran out of paint or didn't reload enough. I'm not sure, but I'm sure I'm right on one of them. But it looks very good. I love the trunks that you did. I love the depth. The only thing I would probably give as a little bit of advice. Let's see. It's hard. This is more of a perspective. This one, you made more like a straight line swoop, which is nothing wrong. Whereas this one, it has the straight line swoop going to it, but you made it by having all these different planes of trees being at different heights, which look more natural to my eye. And I think your right side is stronger by line of perspective, but is weaker with paint application. So if you could take both sides, if you could take the paint application and apply that here, it would look great. And then if you could take the tree perspective depth that's on the side and apply it here, you'd have a masterpiece. But again, that's just in time. The thing I think that's weak, that's a little bit lost, is your colors for your shrubbery back here are the exact same colors, more or less, that you have here and here, and then are more or less the same colors that you have here and here, which makes it dull, dingy, and very, very flat because you've made everything essentially one color, taking away contrast, okay? So what you want to do is remember to have contrast. Leave some of those darks back in here, and then remember to leave darks in the planes. You took like your sap green and mixed it with probably a little bit of blue or burnt umber or some kind of Van Dyke brown, but you've also should have done some planes when you're coming across with like dark blues in here as well. That'll mix with the green and make it darker, or some black so it's darker. So that way there's really high and low points in your valleys. So then when you highlight on top of that, it's going to create more contrast as it goes across, okay? And also, don't be afraid to throw a little bit of red, yellows, and oranges in there because that's going to break up the monotony of these colors that are going to mud mix. And I can tell you had a little bit of mud mixing issues as we worked our way down because you can see how much detail is back here versus how much detail is in the front. It gets a lot more flat, which is the opposite of what should happen, okay? Remember, this is in the distance here. This is in the distance here. So you should be tapping this in a little bit more with a multitude of colors so that way our eye creates the illusion of something back there. Flowers, certain different blades of grass going through the change of season. And then as you work your way closer to us, there should be stronger speckles of color we can see because we're now able to see more detail and color working our way forward, which will create the illusion that this is in the foreground and these are in the background. And then your water is not bad. You just got to remember you got to nestle it more or set it in here. You can see some of your water is sitting on top. Where's my brush? You can see your water is sitting on top of your land, which it shouldn't. Your water should be sitting within recesses of the land that it's created because of the erosion taking it away. So just remember, the easy way to fix that is when you're dropping in this water here, you can scrub it in with like a fan brush like that, and then you can swoop it down with the fan brush to nestle it in, and or add a simple water line so it looks like it's hitting the water's edge. Or if you take your fan or filbert brush and scrub it in, just take whatever brush you were using for your land and then just like tap over it really quick so it covers it, making it look natural. And I think that's pretty much it, dude. This is good. I think you did a very good job of working on your hills and land. I think you got to just build your land. I think if you look at it, brush, oops, gosh darn it. Sorry, I'm getting all flustered here because I got one last idea I want to give you. When you look at your land, this piece of land, this piece of land slanted. This piece of land right here is your strongest piece of land. Why, Ryan? 1, it creates the forest perspective. 2, it holds your land and shrubbery naturally in place. 3, it actually looks like it bends down naturally into the water, creating a good forced natural perspective of the landscape where if it ever rained, it looks like it would naturally flow into this river/pond bed, okay? Then everything else is kind of same. You come up and go down. You come up and go down. You come up and go down. You come up and you go down. You come up and go down. You come up and you go down. You come up and you go down. This one you had a little swoop, but then you come up and you come down. You come up and you come down. It's all the same, and it's tough. Laying of land is one of the most difficult things. So what I would say is block in. I would cut this into 4s, okay? My shitty 4 square right there. I would block in 1 square at a time. Go, okay, I'm going to block in land here, blocking in land here, and think of the flow of the land. Then I would shape that flow of the land with my highlights that go on here so that way I could figure it out. And then I would work on this section, be like, okay, that one went up. Well, this one's going to go more like that. And then this one's actually going to come straight across and cut this little piece of land off. And now I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to highlight that, and work in sections. So that way it's a little more manageable and obtainable for you, okay? It's tough. It's tough. Just go a little slower when you're doing it. Are all the awesome paintings made on level 3 canvases? It depends. Sometimes I make them on level 1s and 2s, depending on what I'm going to do with the final result. All the paintings that I do on the YouTube channel that you see for the tutorials are just cheap canvases because that's more cost effective for me. I don't think people realize when you make videos for YouTube, the cost that goes into it, which is why I appreciate all the support that you guys give by YouTube memberships and all that. Or super chats as well. You think my best paintings are my landscape paintings? Well, thank you. I'll take a look at a second after this one, Chris. Give me 1 second. I probably got time for one more because then I got to get on with my day with working. Oh, this is bed hair, Ryan. Although it looks so good, you know. Have a good one, Lorraine. Thanks for stopping in. Have a happy Thanksgiving if you guys don't see before. And also thank you all so much for the support and the well wishes for the happy day. This is good, dude. I would say you've nailed trees. You're nailing skies and clouds. What I would do, no joke, buddy, no joke. I say, Eric, repaint this, okay? And here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about the rules of third. Let's get red because I'm going to criticize. Let's take this canvas, this little square right here. All right. Apparently I gave it cat ears, so deal with cat ears. Rule of thirds, all right? We're going to split this into thirds. I'm going to do this real shitty because I'm not measuring this out correctly. All right, rule of thirds, okay? I want you to paint all of your sky and cloud up here, which you pretty much did. Then I say, no joke, even though this won't make sense for most paintings out there, I think you should actually make your mountains start somewhat, not all the way down there, probably like down here and come up just like that, okay? I'm just simplifying it. Because what that's going to do is it's going to push your landscape down, all right? And then what you can do is then take these trees, come here, or actually let me get rid of them out. Then take the trees, come down, and that same V shape forcing your perspective, and then we can start your water from right around here. Now there's less land you have to worry about. Thank you for that super chat, Eric. I truly appreciate it. And what we can concentrate now on is really, really working on this forced perspective of your landscape. Since there's less area, there's less room for air, but it's also going to give you more time to concentrate on what you're struggling with. So now you can start laying in this land, and you only need to do like 1 to 3 bumps in here and really think about how you want to shape the water and land. Thank you so much for that super chat, man. I appreciate it. You're a strong boy. Thank you for the birthday wishes, too. And I think that'd be a lot easier for you to repaint because you can concentrate on the things that you're struggling with in a much more manageable way. The landscape's going to look unnatural because you've squished so much down to the bottom, but I think that's actually going to help you for a practice piece. Okay? Good job. Good job. I really can't wait to see what you do next. Will you make a future video of how to paint a desert type landscape with mountains in the background? I haven't thought about it, but I can put it on the agenda. We did one with Tally where he did an Arizona, because that's where he lives, Arizona sunset, where it's got like that kind of style. But I can add it to the list most definitely. All right. I think we had Chris. You said you sent it on Twitter. Let me grab my Twitter. All right, eating banana. Ryan hungry. All right, Twitter. Why is it doing that? Oh, these are beautiful. Let's see. I'm going to take the more simplistic one for today, Chris. But the second one you sent me is very, very beautiful. You got some real talent here. I'm excited for this. Let me close that. I don't know why I was like arguing with what I wanted to do. All right, cool. And cool. And more landscape paintings. Yeah, I've got some things coming up. I told myself I was going to try to do at least like one tutorial painting a month in addition to like tips and tricks. It's been tough to find time. You can always hit that support button and it helps me find more time. The more things are profitable, the more easier it is for me to dedicate time to making more stuff for you guys. It's a simple equation. If Ryan sells out, I can make more art. It's my dream. Are coming up on 3 years? Hell yeah, dude. I love it. All right, let's pull this over here. Get my banana in my mouth. Let me just title this so I know who I'm talking to so I don't forget. Chris. There we go. I've never wanted anything more in my life, Meadow Fox, than to be a sellout. I have no problem saying it. I know my strengths and weaknesses. I'm a kid, I don't have money. If I would, I would donate. You could send me all those Roblox bucks. It's cool. The support that you give just on videos and watching. Just go back and watch videos, leave comments, thumb them up, heart them, whatever you need to do. Engage with other people. You'd be surprised at how much that helps on like the algorithms and the watch times and success. Literally, one of the best things you can do for any YouTube content creator, any YouTube artist, any YouTube blank, is if you can watch the entire video from beginning to end, and if you can leave a comment, it's probably the best thing you can possibly do, because it shows that you watch for the entire watch time, which is a huge metric for YouTube, and it shows by leaving a comment, or even thumbsing up, but a comment's better. By leaving a comment, it actually signals a positive engagement to YouTube. And when you get positive engagements on your videos that have really successful watch times, it gets recommended to a butt ton more people. I think it said somewhere between, if you have any positive engagement on your video, it's somewhere between, it gets recommended to 10 to 25 more people within that moment. And that's huge, because that could be the potential for one new viewer who goes back and watches all my videos, you know? And then that can have a chain effect or viral effect. Aces, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate it so much. I know. Praise be to the algorithm gods. Meadow, what we should do, it's a real shame, but we'll switch contact information. I actually have some really good ideas for your YouTube channel. I don't know if you're interested, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just a positive, another influence for you or creative outlet for you. But I think there's something that you can easily do if you wanted to expand your growth on there, if you're interested. And also, number two, this is another reason why I wish I had your contact information. If I can make a suggestion on your YouTube shorts, which I watch, all of them, by the way, is move your camera. You're gonna have to play with your angle because I know your harp is so long. Your angle for your shorts is kind of weird, at least from my perspective. I think if we changed it, so if this was like the shorts window between, like all I see sometimes is your string fingering. I feel like if we could turn the harp, we could see a little bit more of you. And I don't know how harps work. I know you have to hold it. I feel like if you can nestle closer to it, we can get you, your fingers, and the harp in a more easier perspective. Because you got such a beautiful perspective face to you with your fairy pixie style elfin that I think that will show on the picture of the YouTube short, engaging people to click more. Because your fingers, while beautiful hands, aren't in the most enticing thing when you see it on the short. If I can see your face, your body, your harp, I think it'd be a little bit better. Oh, thank you for the, can we keep the train going? Hey, $15. I can afford to get myself a meatball sub tonight. Lori, thank you for the $5. And Ace Wild, thank you also for the 5 buckaroos. But we can talk about this. We can talk about this. This is what I love. It's tough for music for you, what you have, Meadow, because yours is a huge instrument. But also what I've noticed a lot too, there's this one comedian artist that I watch that makes music. And you know what? He films it from far away. Like he has a lot of dead space on the right, but he has his full guitar in there and he has his full keyboard in there. And I'm like, you know what? That kind of works because I like seeing him perform the music because he's a little more into it, a little more extravagant. And I think I would like to see you just see the characteristics of you flowing. But then you can't read chat. True, I know. It's not the ways. And I just meant for your shorts. I didn't mean for your entire stream. I just meant for your shorts. Alrighty, okay. I'm an influencer. I teach different people how to grind on different games on Roblox. But I'm thinking of starting an art channel. What should I do? Start one, but keep them separate from each other. Roblox and art won't have much to overlay. Speaking from a man that does Twitch streaming advice and art. People will love you for one and not love you for the other. I figured you ripped your shorts. But here's the cool thing, is your shorts, albeit they're ripped from your YouTube VODs, is I think you recording a short would just be so easy. Just move a camera, hit record, play a few strings, notes, whatever you want for X amount of seconds. Capture that, load that up as its own separate thing. Or have your hubby take camera and just move and do some things really quick. All right, let's take a look here. Thank you guys so much for the donations. I truly appreciate it. I might go buy myself a bottle of Champagnons. Thank you so much. At this pace, I might be able to get one that's not Corbel. Alrighty. My voice going out on my own joke. I'm so funny. All right, let's take a look here. We have a beautiful, beautiful piece. Let's get rid of my face here really quick. Let me get a quick sip of coffee to wet my throat. Alrighty. We've got a beautiful... Oh, by the way, Chris, can you please let us know what medium is this in? How long did this take you to paint? And what number painting this is for you, roughly? And did you struggle with anything on it? So that way it gives a little perspective to the audience and community here. All right, so we got a beautiful, beautiful landscape. I'm just going to say this is like a nice little... I don't know. Gosh, a little landscape park. Found a little quiet spot here to set up and nestle under the trees and just look at all the beautiful foliage that we got going on here. So we got beautiful blue sky coming in with a cold front from the right-hand side. Background, distant trees faded off with a little bit of detail at the bases. We got a bunch of grass in, grassy foothills that look soft with moss and grass. And then beautiful trees. And then our perspective in the foreground with these other trees. Very vivid, very beautiful. Chris, this is extremely talented, dude. So let's take a... Oops, wrong. I want to bring my camera up. There we go. So let's take a look at what we can do to help you out. Chris says, this is oil, 18 by 24 canvas. I don't know that I'm painting, but I've been painting for almost 3 years. I'm obsessed. Love it. Love the passion. That is awesome, buddy. Don't lose that passion. So the first thing I would say is if you're going to introduce any form of like cold. Okay, so first of all, I'm confused by the feel of the painting. I get crisp enlightenment from it. You got all these beautiful soft highlights that play off the side. It's going through a changing of season. How do I know? We have different colors on our foliage changing. So I can assume that this is a cold, crisp air. So if you're going to make this a cold, crisp air, you have to identify the cold crispness. And you've kind of done it, but in one corner. It looks off. Like, I know you have some here too, because I can see it a little bit behind the trees. But if you're going to contain the cold crispness, C-R-I-S-P, and then ness, I would say have it go through the entire skyscape, okay? It looks a little off that it's right here. Or if you're going to make a blue sky, some of your clouds or spatial gaps here that look like clouds, introduce the gray cold points into there. It looks like there's a cold front coming in or a crisp winter breeze that comes in. And it's only in one corner that kind of pulls off the perspective of your painting. Like, my eye is literally drawn to the spot where it shouldn't be drawn. Carrie, thank you. Oh, hell yeah, we getting cold Corbell tonight. Thank you for the love that you give. Oh my God. I might be able to get 2 bottles of champagne. One for spraying on myself because I'm sad and alone in my shower, and one for drinking. This is the best birthday ever. Thank you so much, Carrie. I appreciate the love that you give. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. So I would just think about that. You have a beautiful painting, and it just gets slightly distracted by this strong differentiation in color contrast that pulls my eye. And I think if you wanted to pull your eye, my eye gets attracted here, obviously, because you have essentially the brightest brights next to the darkest darks, which is that contrast, which is beautiful. I think if you pulled this over into here, that would be a little more impactful. That'd be a little more impactful. You could do darker blue skies up here to create the vignette and pull it down, but I think your grayish tones of the cool Christmas could be more around this area. And that's it. That's it for the sky. Everything else is beautiful, perfect. It's not overpowering. It's not taking away from your foreground or midground elements. Very fantastic job. I think you did a beautiful job. Oh, Chris, thank you for the $4.99. Oh, getting all that love coming up in here because I love the love that you give, and you guys give me so much love that you give. So good with words. So good with words. Alrighty. Thank you for that donation, Chris. I appreciate it. Oh, shit, dude. We got up to 50. I could probably get myself... What's like the saddest birthday dinner you can get? Is it like a Luke cold bottle of champagne, a really piss poor charcuterie board with like 2 olives, a wedge of cheese, and like a salami stick, as in like a Slim Jim? And then let's see, what would be a dinner? Oh God, it would be like probably like sad spaghetti and meatballs, like a little spaghetti and 1 meatball. Not even meatballs, 1 meatball. I like McDonald's though. That's 2 bottles. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it, brother man. Thank you so much for the love. Alrighty. You did a beautiful job of cascading your landscape sky down, because you see how there's the separation of the sky with the diffusion behind it. Very well done. And happy birthday. Thank you. I appreciate it, bud. Thank you so much. Can you believe I look this good at this age? Exactly what the women said at the Living Center home today. They're like, you're so cute. Let's take a look here. So your background trees are beautiful. So we've established, Chris, on your side, your light source is coming from left to right. And you did a fantastic job with it. However, I'm going to make one critique, okay? And it's not bad. It's just something I want you to be aware of for your eye, because I'm here to help you, and I want you to keep that passion strong. On your left side, you did a very good job of the top of your trees blocking the bottom side of cascading of light. So you have bright, and then down here you have dark, okay? But you also have to remember to create real perspective, and this is in a very, 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 very advanced technique, is since your light source is here, illustrated by this awesome sun right there, is when your light source comes across, your brightest foliage all is going to be on the side and then fades off to a darker side here. So I would actually take what you have here and move that darker side over here. And you kind of do it a little bit, but it's still a little bit bright on this side here. You want to fade the light textures a little bit more on your right side and have them be a little bit brighter on the left. And you do a pretty damn decent job of it, if I might say so. Like, you do a really good job on these undersides here, but this underside should be a little bit more over here. You have it really good here, but it should start to transition all the way through. But all in all, it's a minuscule thing. I just want you to be aware of it when you do something like that, because you have the talent. You have the talent to really capture it. Your trees aren't bad. I would say... Oh, Chris, thank you for the subscribe, dude. I appreciate... Oh, is that what the $4.99 was, maybe? Thank you for the sub, love. I appreciate it, dude. I would say your trees are a little wonky in some areas. Like, it's very fat up here, and then it goes to a base. It kind of looks like a dildo a little bit. Like, that's the shape that I'm getting from this. Not that I'm saying that's unattractive. I'm just saying that's what I notice. I feel like it could have probably a little bit more of a better structure as you build the base through there. Like, even here, you have this beautiful top, and then it looks like it goes to a pencilness, and then it goes out. But I do love how you made them blurry, because it makes them look like they're in the background. I would say the only thing that you need really strong structure on is shape. Shape is it. Like, this one right here, this one right here, and even this one right here are all very good shapes. They don't have to be triangles. I'm just using triangles to illustrate my point. They all have a good natural flow, and they're not perfect. They're not symmetrical. Like, this one's actually got some gashes in it, but I like it, but it looks more natural. Your twigs in the back that come up here, your dead trees, tough, dude. Very, very tough. If I was going to do this, because I still struggle at them, I would probably just get a really, really fatty or thin paint and just, no joke, just literally just go whoop, and I would just leave some twigs, like some just dead twigs, and not even... I might add like a little bit of that, but it looks like you need to use a thinner paint, because look how thick your branches are on some. Lido Watts, thank you for the sub, love. I appreciate it. Thank you guys all for the sub, love. Keep it coming. But that's it. I would say you probably just need a more flexible or thinner paint for those tree branches that you got going on in the back. Because look how thin you got these ones in the foreground. Like, these ones look like you almost did it with a filbert brush, and these ones you did it with a script liner. Wait, don't want to delete... deleting the layer, and I don't want to delete the layer. Boone's Farm and White Castle. Fuck yeah. Dude, I haven't had Boone's Farm since college. And Boone's Farm is a hangover nightmare because there's so much sugar in it. White Castle, we don't have any in California. But I've actually want to try like a legit White Castle. Jace, how do you submit art? Through Twitter or Instagram is the best. Just send me follow me on those platforms, and then send it in a DM, and I usually grab it. I don't have enough time to get through one today on it, but we'll see. Alrighty, so that's all really good. The perspective you built of your land, dude, is fantastic. I love the different layers, and this is kind of what I was just talking with the other two people. See how you have different layers and different shapes that you build off with the different light, and they really, really play on each other? That's what a lot of people have a strong trouble doing. And I struggle with it a lot, and you do a fantastic job. Like, I really get the sense that this land bowls, B-O-W-L-S, down into here and creates this little, bottom place that would hold water if it rains. And then it's got these indentations in here, and then it's got this land that goes up and builds over here. Like, I get a strong feel for it, dude, and it's beautiful how you did the laying of the land, and it's gorgeous. Your tree trunks are immaculate. However, I will say I kind of don't understand the difference in how you have some that are like this one is so detailed, and this one only looks like it's a few feet behind and is not muddy, but soft and speckly, which is weird. I feel like these are close enough in existence that they should almost be the same texture and design. It almost looks like you paint them at two different times, or two different brushes, or two different paints. And to be honest, it actually looks like this was done in one style, and this was done in another style. And then to be honest, it looks like this was almost done with acrylic paint, and this is done with oil paint. And to be honest, it looks like this was done with tapping on with a filbert brush, and this looks like it was done tapping on with either a fan or a 1-inch brush. It's okay to do different styles, but you have to create the different styles throughout the entire painting. You can easily see that there's 2 different application styles here that don't match, and it doesn't work, I'm going to say. Either choose this style and go with it and apply it on here, or go with this style and apply it on here. Because they're so close in the same formation of landscape perspective, they should be similar to a degree of how you apply and paint them. With that said, who keeps hitting me up? Sorry, it was my sister-in-law. I lost my train of thought. Trees. I think I illustrated my point pretty well, right? Like, you see the different styles, and good. I didn't even think about that. Great point. Yeah, and it is. And I would say, if you love the way that you did this style, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all, Chris. However, this tree would have to be more mid-ground to make sense for the 2 different styles and 2 different perspectives and 2 different approaches, okay? But since they're so close in reality of where you built them, it's a noticeable difference. And I don't want to say it's eye-jarring, but now that you probably look at it, you go, okay, now I get what he's saying, and I see it and I realize it. But let me say this. Your tree trunks are fucking immaculate. I don't even think this right here, this is beautiful. This bottom base bitch right here is gorgeous. The only thing I would add is I would have brought some of these gnarls, end root gnarls down, because you can see that the grass is short. This would be beautiful. It was just grabbing out onto something. It would make it look so awesome. Like, this tree was like, fuck you, nature. I'm going to stay here forever, and I'm grabbing into this, you know? That's the only thing I would add. You could do the same thing on just this left side only, because you brought the grass up, which I think is cool. I would probably even bring the grass up a little higher, to be honest. But it's beautiful. Your trunks are immaculate. These willows of branches are good. I can't even paint that. Although this is weird here. I noticed there's caps in it, but maybe it's just the picture. I suck at trunks or willow bristles. In fact, I actually just skip them. I'll put them in, and then I'll paint right over them because I suck at them, to be honest. You got the highlights on the right side. A little sparse up here. I think you probably go a little heavier. Whoops. I think you can go a little heavier handed on some of the foliage in certain spots and then highlight it. It just looks so sparse. It looks like your branches are hanging off nothing. Your leaves are hanging off nothing. And then the only criticism I would give, buddy, which isn't much, it looks like you create balls in your trees. Like, watch. Perfect circular formation. Perfect circular formation. Perfect circular formation. No shit. Almost perfect circular formation. Thinking of how to be a tree is fucking hard. So what I usually do, doesn't mean this is the right way, is I'll like tap on a little bit right here and kind of like a little zigzag motion. I'll step back away and then I go, okay, how would trees go? Okay, so then I would put some here and I put some here. And I just like literally step back and then add and then kind of go from there. You look like you want boom, 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 boom. It looks like you're almost blooming in a half circle kind of style. And I think if you broke up the monotony, or technically the symmetry in your tree, I think it would help look more natural. You created all this natural looking environment with the branches and trees that it's a shame that the branches are symmetric, or not branches, the leaves are so spherical. You love Newcastle? We don't have it out here. We have In-N-Out, which is good, which actually sounds good, but I'm trying to eat healthy because I got my birthday present to myself was an iWatch, everyone. I know it seems real pretentious, but I got it for health needs, as in like to get myself more fit because I want to be known as the sexy painter. As you can see, we got a long way to go, but I'm getting there. See, I figured because that other tree was further back, needed less detail, makes more sense. And no, you are 100% correct on your theory. That tree, in your mind, even though it's in the background, it's only a little bit in the background, but if it was in the background, it would need less detail. But that doesn't mean that all the branches and leaves surrounding it should be in a perfect sphere. You can still have things be broken up and still be less detailed, you know? Oh, you have an In-N-Out that opened up out there? Go give it a try. So here's what I'm going to recommend to you. This is what I get from In-N-Out. This is my go-to for anybody listening out there. You're welcome. Is get yourself a double-double, which is 2 patties with 2 pieces of cheese. Get onions on it because their onions are fantastic. They usually get them from local farmers. Nice, crisp, mellow taste to them. Then you're going to get your fries animal style, which means your fries come in a tray. Then they put 2 pieces of cheese on them. And then they put onions and they're spread on top of it. And then throw that under a cooker for just a minute. Comes up melty good. Okay? Then get yourself a milkshake, any flavor you like. Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. Bring your lungs, because sucking that thing through a straw is hard because it's thick as shit. But it's good, and that's usually what I get. And then prepared to have about 1,400 in calories because it goes fast. So good job on the trees. I have no criticism, Chris, on your laying of land and the highlights and all the beautiful velvetness that you created. This is literally beautiful. Like, no shit, my favorite. It's not the tree. It's this piece of grass right here. Not the foreground grass. Just this. This resonates with me. Look at the beautiful highlight. You got this velvet smooth specular highlight kicking here, leads into the shadow point, then another point coming through it that gingerly falls off to the back with another pit, and then another pit, which looks like long and short grass. It looks like water. No shit. Collected up here, came down this channel, sat here, grew extra grass, which grew up, which created all these different flowers. Like, I can make a story out of this. Like, I visually see it. And that's what's so beautiful about this painting and the laying of the land. Like, I see stuff in it, which is what's awesome. Your trees over here are fine. I think your trunks are a little fatty for what you got on here. I don't think they mesh well because they look a little different. I feel like they're a little jarring, but not bad. Your highlights are fine over here. The only thing I think, you've nailed highlights on grass. I think you still need a little highlight help on branches and trees. Or sorry. Let me rephrase that. You need a little highlight help on bushes. Because it looks like you have some beautiful consistency like right here. And then it looks like sometimes you have like filbert brush blobs. But good job in creating separation, different colors and planes. I like the little wisps of trunks coming up. Your stones are beautiful. Your flowers are good. I can't even do flowers, so I don't even attempt. And then I love your blades of grass down here in the bottom corner, dude. Like, this is 100% beautiful. I think you've got a great perspective. I think you've got great ideas. And no shit, I think you got great talent. And thank you for sharing. I think this is fucking beautiful. I could teach you no more except awesome tips every now and then. Let me stretch, Chris. This is fantastic, and thank you for sharing. Your other painting was gorgeous. You're gonna make me want to not paint anymore. I've reached the pinnacle. That was very good, dude. Awesome job. I think you did immaculate. That's the only words I can think of. I think the only things, if I had to come down harsh on, I think your tree shapes in your background aren't that great. You had like 50-50. 50% of them are good. 50% of them don't make sense for how foliage grew out on it. That's fine. It's fine. I think your background tree, dead trees, honestly, were probably your weakest. I love the shading, the casting, the laying of land. You applying leaves and highlights on a tree, kind of weak, but it looks like you're getting the consistency of getting them down. And then your grass is perhaps the best grass I've ever seen. It's better than I make. No joke. I see textures, different textures nonstop in your grass. It's fantastic. Thanks for letting us know what we should do, because we're learning. I am here for that. I know what it's like. No joke. When I started painting, there was a bunch of people on YouTube that paint that I adore, like Paint with Kevin, Andrew Tischler, Clive 5 Art. But a lot of them teach you from the perspective of knowing. And that's kind of what education is. I know something, so I'm going to share it with you. And I took my perspective as the opposite way, where it's like, I don't know this, so I tried it. I made 101 mistakes, and now I'm going to teach you what mistakes not to make and guide you on a path that I think will work. There's multiple paths to get you to work a certain way. I'm going to let you know what pitfalls to avoid so that way your growth pattern is faster, greater, and more adventurous. And what I really try to teach is I don't want you to feel discouraged, because you can paint something from Bob Ross, Bill Alexander, Paint with Kevin, all these awesome painters out there, but they're going to assume you know things, and they're not going to hold your hand a lot of the time. And if you're painting something like a sky or a mountain, and you see them take a paintbrush just like this, and you see them scrub and paint, and you're like, oh, all I have to do is scrub and paint, and it doesn't work the same way that you see on theirs, and you go, why is that? I can tell you why. I'm like, oh, you're scrubbing and paint because you applied too much there and it's contaminating your brush. So I recommend cleaning off your brush or rubbing in with a paper towel so it exposes more of the toothing. Hey, you don't know what toothing is, by the way? Oh, it's that little pitting that you have on your canvas material from when it weaves that comes in different depths that allows paint to grab on. Hold on. I'm on a stream right now. That's because you probably blocked me. Well, then your phone wouldn't work if there was that. Okay. Bye-bye. Life. So anywho, I try to teach you from the perspective of I've made all the mistakes ever out there, which is why I think I'm such a good teacher when people go, hey, I have a problem with liquid white, or I have a problem with clouds, or I have a problem with this. Because somebody can teach you, go, do. And I'm like, yeah, but here's what you need to do. You need to pretend like you're whisking an egg. You need to feel like the pressure from your paintbrush is coming off like this. Paint not grabbing. You really need to make sure you go with like these types of paints or these types of mediums. And I think that helps a lot. I want to build a lot of your confidence so that way when we go into tutorials, you'll be like, oh, I have all the tools and things that I need to get there, you know? I am a sexy painter. I'm trying to get there, Carrie. One of these days. Aces, thanks for all the great tips. Can't wait to apply them after this COVID's let me go. Yes, rest up, and feel strong. The good news is you'll be home to paint, so you'll have more time to do it. I tried what you did and I failed. Then I almost gave up. But then my mom said, don't give up on what I love. And now I'm painting nonstop. That's good. And that's good advice. And that's a good mama, by the way. First of all, here's the problem people have. And my friend Meadow Fox can relate to this, but I'll relate it to everybody. Everybody assumes when you see someone do something that it can be easily replicated because they think there's not much work and or effort that goes behind it at times. Because there's a very much a mode in your mind. You go, if they can do it, I can do it. And the perfect example is things like, oh, I want to be influencer-ish on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or streamer or content creator. They go, not much work goes into setting up a microphone, getting a camera, entertaining, dancing around, playing video games, creating content, or posting a picture of, you know, something of me and getting likes and all this. And in reality, if it was that easy, everybody would be successful at it. And it's not as easy as you think. There's a lot of work that goes into a lot of things that you don't realize behind the scenes. And painting in any creative outlet is just like that. You'll see people that make it look easy, and you'll see people on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok that make it look effortless. And for some people, to be honest, it will be effortless. They'll get lucky in life. They have the stars align, and it'll be that way. But that's not going to be you, and that's not going to be me. We're going to have to work our hootie patooties off and grind ever harder. And the thing that makes you get through that is passion and drive. And you have to find your own passion and drive in your life? My own passion is my own personal one. My drive is the fact that I love to challenge myself. And that's what keeps me going. I love the drive of helping you become bigger and better. No joke, like it was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I got an email from a guy in Italy. At least I think it was Italy. And it was all in Italian. And he was like, sorry, I don't know English. And then he wrote me something on like Google Translate. And it was like the most heartwarming letter I've ever gotten. And I was like, no shit, this is the reason why I do things. And that's like a driving factor for me to keep pursuing creative outlets. And then my passion for, loving art is another thing. But I have many. But you got to find what's passionate to you. And you got to find things that drive you. Because you're going to have many, 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 many fallbacks in life. And art is just one thing that you're going to fall back on. You're going to have people that criticize you for no reason. You're going to have people that don't like your art for no reason. They're going to have people that reject you for no reason. And just feeling stronger when you can lay back on those like drives and passions will get you through anything. And I think that's what your mom's trying to teach you. Like if you have a passion for it, don't let failure get in the way, because you're going to fail. If you learn from something, it's never a true failure. I feel I turned a corner in my art is when I changed my canvases. Oh, really? Pray tell, like what made you think that changing your canvas made your art change? Were they like less porousy, more smooth, more vibrant, more taut? Pittman says, that's why I'm glad that this channel exists, because most of the art channels I used to watch, I didn't understand it. It made me burn out, and I stopped painting since then. But now I'm assuming slowly, like improving. Cool, and that's what I want. Like, I can't compete with somebody like, no shit. I can't compete with somebody like Andrew Tischler. The man makes beautiful, beautiful landscape arts. But it's a different style. It's a different influence, a different upbringing, a different teaching, a different approach, And once you realize that, you go, I have to appreciate my art for what it is and my own journey for what it is. But don't be afraid to learn from every different. Don't just watch me. Watch all these. Well, watch me first, obviously. I mean, come on. But watch all these different artists. I watch artists that get like 2 views on their channels, and I go, that's very unique. I never thought about holding the paintbrush like this and like scraping up to get it. And they're like, this is how I make grass. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's a cool technique to get some like reed shapes going. And I'm like, oh, watch all the different people out there. You'll learn so much. Chris, same with using clear gel and white only on top part of the canvas. I was using liquid white and it was great while learning, but now I'm not using, not only use clear gel, I'm learning that medium. Yeah, I use clear gels all the time too. And I think you realize, like, for a lot of people that feel comfortable with learning paint, a lot of people I notice will transition from wet on wet to wet on wet for parts of the canvas to traditional on other parts of the canvas, Would you ever consider doing a painting live or recording for an hour? Some advice in the comments. Thanks for all your advice, James. Yes, actually, that's what I was going to do for my birthday, is I was going to set up my easel and paint, but I didn't have enough time to do that. But yes, I will do that. The problem is, if you ever watched me on Twitch before, I used to do that all the time, and it's super fun. It takes more than an hour for me, because here's the problem. I like to drink. I like to engage. I like to have fun. I like to read the chat. I could probably do something like what Nick Hankins does on the Bob Ross channel, where it's just straight painting and lesson, but I like engaging with all of you out there. So I do it, but it'd probably be more like a 2 to 3 hour thing, which isn't a problem, but I have to figure out how to set up my easel in this environment here. My easel's in my other room, and I can't really move my computer there. But I will do it at some point because I need to rearrange everything in my house. A truly necessary perspective to actually grow and learn. It can't be just copying for true advancement. We need that. Nothing wrong. I don't want to use the word copy. Nothing wrong with using other people's works as influence for yours, and nothing wrong with copying. And here's why copying is not a problem. Because they're guidelines and they're work studies. It's only an issue if you're claiming it as your own art. But if you're using copied art to help yourself grow and use them as work studies, that's completely fine in my book. In fact, like I say, like, use my stuff for whatever you want, Many artists say that too. They should take it as a compliment. If you're taking their work and selling it, then yes, there's something wrong with that. Oh, thank you, Roblox. You're formerly a professional musician, but I'm not able to do it anymore, so I pivoted into painting for a creative outlet. Oh, awesome. Well, even if you're a professional musician, may I make a suggestion? And why not do some digital music creation? Because maybe you can't hold a guitar or drums or do something. You could still make beautiful digital music using sound systems on your computer for maybe a happy medium. You know, rhythms, beats, you know, things like that. I don't have a music background. Might be a good little idea. What's the difference between Liquitex Basic Gesso Surface Prep Medium 16 ounce and Bob Ross Liquid White? Since I want to know what product to use. Gesso, if you ever watch my video with what Gesso is a prepping medium, technically. You can use it for a bunch of other things, but generally you use it to prep your canvas and seal your canvas so it's less porous, okay? So you would prep it by putting on your canvas first. And what it has a calcium carbonate in it, which is kind of like a fine grit sand, almost kind of like what baking soda is, if you guys know what baking soda is. And what that allows is for when you have certain types of paint, it's gonna have all this like little grit. So when you take your paintbrush and paint over it, it has something to grab onto. If you've ever tried painting on something like glass, which has almost virtually no surface area, when you take your paintbrush on it, it's just gonna squeak across and not do anything. Having that grit gives that paint something to grab, which is what gesso is. So you'll commonly see people put gesso on more porous items or more slick items that they plan on painting on. So there's something for it to grab. Liquid white is basically a liquid white base, which is just a really fatty white paint that you put on as your base coat for when you put other colors on top of it. It allows it to blend naturally on the canvas and allows you to keep paint wet for longer times as you move it into different positions or manipulate it. Liquid white would go on top of a dried layer or dried layers of gesso. You're wild for Ryan? Hell yeah, Eric, you better be. I started using Sendbelt, and they are super stretch, and they don't need to be gessoed. Shipping is kind of expensive it's kind of expensive, but well worth it. They have a ton of tooth to them, and I don't have the stretcher. Awesome. I don't think I've ever used Sendbelt or Sunbelt. Okay. Sunbelt doesn't sound familiar to me either. Chris, do me a favor and send me a link to it on like Twitter or Instagram. I love to say or take a look at which ones you're using. I love learning about new products from everybody else. That's the coolest thing. My next video is going to be on the apron one of my next videos is going to be on the new apron that I have. I love it. I love it. It's protected my clothes so many times. And then I love the pockets that it has. Plus somebody was already interested in it. And the best part is I think it's like $9 or $15. I think I got it on not a Black Friday sale, but the equivalent of a Black Friday sale for $9. And it's way worth it. So I'm going to make a video on that because people have been asking about it in my videos. And then I want to make like a holiday ship guide for like what to get an artist of just small fun things. So I'm going to make that in the next week or two for just fun. Like if you're an artist, you want to get yourself a present, or if you need a like nudge, give ideas for your significant other or someone in your life to get you a gift that you would like for art. You can be like, hey, watch this video. I'd like any one of these things or multiple things, just simple little things, items that are like, you know, you don't think to get yourself. Yeah, and I guess that's what I have coming up in the chamber. I gotta think. I do want to do another tutorial and so forth, but is there anything else that you guys? I know we had people say we want to see more tutorials from me. Oops, I just hit my thing. Is there anything else you want to see video-wise from me, or what you're struggling with? And it's so funny whenever I ask this question. It'll always be so unique. It'll be like, oh, I specifically suck at doing this particular niche thing. And I'm like, well, it's a niche. It's hard to make a video on just that one thing for one person, which is why you generally see tutorials from people. Can we see a video on mastering the midground? Wow. That is a great video idea because that's fucking hard because I don't know what I would do. That's a good idea, though. I would actually say I would go above further is like how to construct where land goes, which means you'd go over your background, midground, and foreground. But midground is the toughest because I have struggles with that. And I would say my biggest flaw I have, Eric, is when I paint, I have so much fun with my top third of my painting that I end up bleeding it down into the 2/3 to bottom third, and then I really squished the perspective of my landscape in the bottom. And that's my own personal problem. I let things get away from me, which is why that one of my tips is when my painting's on my easel, I'll take a piece of painter's tape, mark off where I think the third is for where my top third should be, and then put 2 pieces of tape on the side. So that way I go, okay, when I get here, I have to start transitioning to the midground. But a lot of my first paintings that I still have or have pictures of, it'll be like 2/3 sky and mountain, and then I have this little itty bitty space for landscape, and I'm like, fuck. All right, guess I'll do it. Oh, in response to my teaching style. Cool, thank you. Gotcha. Color values. I'm very bad at color values. There's a lot of people that have studied years and years of color theory and science. If you wanted a basic video on it, I can give that, which, to be honest, probably would be a really good video, because when you talk about color science and color theory, people take it from the approach of prestigious, or I'm sorry, pretentious. Some could be prestigious. They explain it to you like you're in art school, and it can get a little overwhelming. So maybe doing a basic video on it, like introductory for dummies, would be a good one. Oh, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it, man. I'm actually going to take a look at that later on today. Got it. Thank you very much. Have you ever planned to do a video painting real-life national parks? No. I have this idea, and I've only got to do 2 this year because, yeah, I have heard of the Golden Ratio. One of my ideas for videos is I want to travel to places that I go to, take pictures, and then paint those pictures. And I did 2 of them. I did one earlier in the year, which is my distant landscape of Helicopter Hill, which you can check out, which is fun. And then the other one was of Dana Point Harbor, California. That one was more of an abstract painting, because that painting went in my home, because I had a perfect place where I wanted to put it. But I want to do more like that. Like I travel to spots, take you where I'm adventuring, take photos, and then paint like the photo. So it could be like I could do a national park. I live close to, it's not the most prettiest national park, but it's close-ish to a national park. But I think that'd be a fun little adventure. How do we get highlight colors without making your hull and palette a mess? Oh, whole, making your whole. What do you mean making your whole? You mean your whole palette? Learning to what's called stack your paint is an important lesson. So when you're on your painting palette and you're holding and you're mixing colors all over the spot, take your palette knife, and when you're done mixing certain things, scrape and move it back into a new spot, so that way you've left this portion clean. Just to let you know, if you've mixed in one spot, you can mix in that same spot, provided if you're going up or down on color values, and they're not really strong drastic changes, because that little itty bit of different colored paint isn't going to really mix up your other colors too much. But learning to stack your paint and moving those sections is really beneficial. Now, if you've made a huge giant mess, scrape, wipe off on a paper towel, take a shop towel, and just clean that section off really quick, and now you've got a clean spot, is probably the second easiest thing to do. But just learning to stack your paint will really help. Because if you keep pulling colors far out to the center, at some point you're just going to get thinned colors everywhere that you don't have much control, that are going to contaminate other colors when you're going through brushes. So like work with one color, paint mix, do whatever you want. When you're done, before moving on to the next color, take your fan, or take your palette knife, scoop it up, all it is, and then plop it down in a certain spot, and there you go. Dude, I would love to go to Oregon. Love to go to Oregon. And yes, I would love to go to Crater Lake too, because I've heard of Crater Lake. I love hiking. I actually do a ton of it. I would love to do that. Oregon's so beautiful too. It's got all the beautiful greenery, and I actually wouldn't mind going up during snow times too. Is that kind of the same concept where you're talking about with splitting the canvas into thirds? Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about for the Golden Ratio. Simple answer, yes. More detailed answered, kind of, yes. That's the best way I can talk about it. It would take not a long time, but it would take a little more time to explain. If that's something that you're interested in, I could possibly make a video on it for you though, Chris. Maybe starting from the simplistic idea and then working into the Golden Ratio. Basically, the thing that you need to learn most when starting out to painting is the rule of thirds. So like where I'm standing in this camera frame here is I'm center punched. And even though that makes sense and it's comfortable to your eye for what I'm doing, most things when you're painting or creating a piece of artwork actually works better in a third of it. So if I was more over here, it makes for a more compelling image to have something fluctuate into the angles and composition of it, to where like if you gridded things off in fives, or wait, would it be fives? I think it'd be fives or six. You can do that as well by having negative space in one spot and me filling up the 2/3 and then leaving 1/3 alone. There's different ways to explain it, which really go into things like Ansel Adams, who is a photographer that who took a lot of black and white photos of like Yosemite and certain national parks, who really worked on composition of doing golden ratios and doing rule of thirds. And then there was a lot of other painters and creators of photography and film that really work with those ratios and stuff that really make a lot of sense when you watch something and you find why an image is compelling and speaks to you. It's because of how it's laid out compositionally. We tried to get multiple colors on my palette for highlights. They all turned in one large pool. Oh, okay. If that's what you're talking about. So if you're trying to do, like, for instance, what Chris did here, where you've got, like, he doesn't fully have it, but he has it close. Like, if you were going to put, like, different colors of leaves in one bush, where, like, you'll see Bob Ross go into, like, Indian yellow, yellow ochre, a little bit of red, things like that. Your paints have to be flexible, okay? They have to be flexible. And that means they have to be a little fatty to be going on your brush, to where they'll keep their consistency and viscosity to themselves, okay? And that takes a lot of time to learn. And if you don't have time to learn that, here's a hack. You're not going to like it, but it will work. Is take your paints. Let's say you were going to make a mixture of cadmium yellow, permanent red, any color of permanent red, and what with cad yellow, premium red, and like a yellow ochre. So you got a yellow, a red, and kind of like a yellow brown, okay? What you want to do is mix those all, add a little bit of medium into them so they're a little bit more flexible. Then you want to take your paintbrush, let's say 1-inch brush. Sorry, I only got a fan brush on my desk here. I don't even know why it's here. And take your palette, go into the CAD, tap a little bit, or sorry, pull those colors down into some little baby strips, a little bit like a palette knife. Tap on the bottom, rotate your brush, go to the next color, rotate the brush a little bit, and tap. So you got all three colors on there, and you're going to notice that they're all mixed, but not enough to mix into a mud. And when you're putting on there, you're not smashing, okay? You're tap, tap, tap. Just enough for the bristles to bend just slightly a little bit. Tap, tap, tap. Next color, tap, tap, tap. Next color, tap, tap, tap. Now you got a multitude of colors on the ends of different bristles there. And since you rotated the brush, they're in different positions. So they all haven't had a chance to co-mingle and intermix yet, all right? The biggest mistake is a lot of people go, tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. When you go to the second tap, you're starting to blend already on your palette, and then you're doing it again. So now that we've turned the brush and had it in different spots, you can now do probably no shit, only 3 pushes. 1, 2, or 1, 2, and 3. By that time, you've had too much contamination on your brush. Take a paper towel, pinch the base to where the ferrule is, pull up, and away. Go on another piece of blank paper towel, wipe off. It's going to be a pretty clean brush. Go back. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Do the next bush. Repeat until you're done. And that'll be the best way to stop the contamination factor. It's a lot more cleaning until you learn correct viscosities to where you can be like Bob or a professional painter. Go do-do-do-do. Boom, 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 boom. Not dirty. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Boom, 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 boom. You know, kind of things like that. Conquering mud mixing is just a practice thing, but I did do my dull video, which talks a lot about it, but maybe I can make a second advanced version. I went to Portland, Oregon, actually, the park. It's one of the biggest parks in the city. It's beautiful and honestly one of the best parks, in my opinion. Great overview of the city and mountains. See, now you're making me miss. Now I want to go. A video on how to use a script liner. Yes, but I actually had an idea where I was going to go, and I kind of did it for a little bit in the Bob Ross review kit, where I go over every brush and exactly what it does and how to use it correctly. So I've been wanting to do that and I haven't gotten to the script liner. Should the different colors be different viscosities? So here's something that you learn more with acrylic paint than you do with oil paint, but it actually is the same law. Different pigments, aka different colors of paint, have different weights to them and have different viscosities because of those weights. To make something white or make something blue takes a lot more pigment, thus the paint is heavier. Thus, it takes different mediums to make it a certain type of viscosity to make it more flexible. Or something like a red, you've probably noticed when you squirt it out of the tube, red comes out a lot easier than something other like a white, you know? So learning those viscosities can be very beneficial if you need to layer in different ways. But for the tip I was giving, where, you know, tap, tap, wipe, clean, reload, they can be all the same consistency because since you're rotating the brush, they're all going to hit different bristles. And then when you push, that's when they're going to start commingling. As long as they're just flexible enough to stick is all I was saying. But as you get more advanced, you can make them different viscosities, yes. So that way you can have different layering techniques for them. A video of how to do like fall color leaves in the distance, like how Vermont, New Hampshire. That would be beautiful. That's not a bad idea, actually. I don't get changing of seasons. I live in California. We have 2 seasons. We have summer and traffic. Those are the only 2. Oh man, you're so glad you stumbled across the stream. The channel's been such a wealth of knowledge. That's what we're here for. Normally we try to, Chris. It's been a little more difficult because this is my birthday month, holidays and Christmas and things like that, and I've been a little more busy. I try to do this at least once a week, but I think at the bare minimum, I do at least once every 2 weeks. And then the benefit I do is I usually review YouTube members. And then once I go through them, I'll try to pick like 1 or 2 people that's not a member. So if you got the opportunity, become a member down below. It really benefits me. You can do it for the low price of $1. But there's different tiers that unlock different things. I really need to get back into making some more perks. Because one of the perks I was going to give is like, hey, you guys get to suggest what I'm going to do for a video or a tutorial or something like that. Caesar, hey Wild, how's it going? Is it your birthday? Happy birthday, my friend. It is celebrated. Turned another year older around this beautiful planet of ours. Oh, you're close to Yosemite? You know the funny things? I'm also in California, and I've never been to Yosemite, and I would love to go one of these days. I'll get there. I'll get there. Because it's something that I do want to do. All right, my friends. It's that time to say goodbye. I got to get on the rest of my day. I got to do a little bit of work. And I actually don't know what I'm going to work on, but I got to eat. I haven't eaten anything yet. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I also want to say thank you so much for having fun with me. I want to say thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. I want to say thanks for spending time with me. Thanks for tuning in. I always get nervous. I'm going to do these live streams and nobody turns in. If you're watching the VOD, thank you so much for tuning into that. And if you're here, thank you. If you'll leave me a comment. Next video coming out will be Saturday. It'll be on a cool way to make sure you get paint breaks on your mount. Really cool tip. It's only 2 to 3 minute video. Really powerful, really strong, and I recommend you take a look at it. Not just for my handsome face, but obviously because I want to sell out. And then the video after that will be on my apron, and then I'm not sure where I'll go from there. We'll get some feedback, but make sure you watch the video. Have fun this weekend. I'll see you guys before Turkey Day, at least in the videos. If I don't see you on a live stream before them, have a safe, fun, tummy-filled Turkey Day. And as always, take care, and of course, peace. Have a good one.